Once we get to our episode 1000,
Shit.
eventually.
Then somebody else will be doing the clap.
Yep, I hope so.
By episode 1000, that's our goal. Someone else to do the clap.
Yeah. The reason I say that is because I seen the clip. It was like the Joe Rogan story. Like, because I never used to watch him back in the very early days.
Okay.
And they very first started out, and it was just him and one of his buddies. And they only made it about 2 episodes, and they realized there wasn't as much to talk about. And all his friends, like they were, in the comedy scene. So it was like up and coming people like Hollywood and other comedians and stuff. So they just started having their friends on.
Yeah.
They were interesting people. And then that's when it became, they always have a guest every time.
Right. Yeah. And we keep talking about the guest thing.
Yeah. I was like, shit, that makes me feel good. Cause we made it, I think, more episodes than Rogan did with just us.
Right.
And it's been at least interesting, I think. But maybe that'll unlock the key when we finally get someone in here.
Yeah, I'm ready. It's tough to find somebody else that wants to wax about conspiracy.
Yeah.
Like that,
Or
like us.
we're like, fuck, we're never having someone here again.
Right.
It's like
Yeah,
a
that'll
threesome
be-
in your marriage. You're like, this is a terrible idea, honey.
Yeah, that didn't work out.
That didn't work.
Sorry.
Dr. Phil said it, or Dr. Phil. Dr. Drew always says it's a bad idea. So I try to, whatever Dr. Drew says.
Dr.
I
Drew
listen.
doesn't know shit.
Hey, he's down the rabbit hole these days. So I'm like, shit, how's Dr. Drew?
He's going to be here locally.
Is he?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Adam Carolla.
Oh, well,
He's cool too.
they're in the same sphere. I could see
Yeah.
how you got that mixed up.
Yeah. But I like Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla, actually.
They were the shit, man. Loveline, if that used to be all you had at 10 p.m. at night when your parents were making you turn off your TV and you're laying there in the dark.
That was all you had at all for there. We didn't have like the internet to Google anything. Like you wanted to know like anything about sex, you better listen to Loveline.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I didn't have internet. You didn't have internet either? Not until like...
I didn't have no Comcast when it first came out. I wasn't the kind of kid that had the new Nintendo, let's say.
Yeah.
Nowadays, even the Pork families have the new Nintendo.
I remember we were barely able to figure out like Napster or something like that.
I swear when Napster came, it was like after it already wasn't working. Like by the time I really got on Napster, it was like, oh, I can't even get nothing because this shit's it's like a party that already got broke up.
Yeah, right.
But I think my first one was it LimeWire or was it Kazaa?
Oh,
Those were like
LimeWire, Kazaa, probably.
And then they had
yeah.
like the light version. I don't even know what the difference was.
You were a CD maker in high school, weren't you? Didn't you do that?
I burned some CDs. I wasn't like some of these guys that were like, some guys sell weed and then some guys sell weed.
Yeah, they come in with a backpack.
I would sell a CD, but not a fucking. I didn't have 100 stack.
Right. Yeah, someone would have to harass you.
But at a young enough age, if you had that DVD-R, right?
Yeah.
And there was no, like you said, there was no internet, so there was no way to look this shit up. Like, oh, why doesn't my computer do that?
Right.
Unless your dad knew. And in our generation, most of us knew more about the computer than our parents.
Well, I knew how to do it, but my parents were cheap and didn't trust me with a computer because they thought I was going to turn into like a hacker or something, which I probably would have. But
man, I love that movie.
Still, oh God, hackers.
God, Zero Cool.
Oh my gosh.
That was, and I remember in that movie, there's a chick in there and she's got like no titties. But still, I was like, titties, just a little hard ass nipples, but just no titties. Nowadays, it was like maybe back before, every girl had a boob job that was in a movie. But she's like really lean, thin,
Hey, boob jobs are totally out too.
I seen that. Even Jeffree Star and them, they're taking out their, like all the injection. I guess there's a removal you can have done to where, you want to bring your lips back down. Or,
go figure.
Yeah. So it's I'm sure that costs even more.
I'm sure.
It's like a boob reduction's like twice as much as a fucking, boob implants.
Yeah. Yeah, well, because you got to take it out, but you got to make it look nice. You got to deal with all the extra skin, I'm imagining, that's grown around it and stretched out. And
yeah, it's like a remodel.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm having the worst visual right now. Oh, my God. Are we editing this part out of the
Hell
podcast?
no, this is what we're here for.
Jesus Christ.
This is what we're here for.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been like a month, I think, since we've been on air, but we're here. Episode 12, we're back. We didn't leave you. We missed you.
We made it.
I think we missed each other.
Yeah. Time makes the
Heart
Was it distance or time?
Time, both. I think it's distance or time. I think it's kind of the same thing.
Distance
right?
and time.
Yeah, but makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah, I always like listening to myself on the neck when I re-listen to it, and I completely botched like a just everyday saying. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, right.
You're like, does the chicken come before the egg? But you get all the words mixed up. And,
Right. Does the goose come before the hen?
Yeah. And you're like, oh God, I sound like a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Can we edit that out?
I'm like, come on.
Well, maybe there won't be as much editing today. We'll see.
Yeah. Maybe we won't stare at our phones like aimlessly as long looking for a link.
A link or something. Yeah.
I got a couple of people. They're like, "Why don't you guys edit out some of those gaps?" I'm like, "Well, that's the content.
Yeah, that's all content.
You see us scrambling to try to find what the fuck we're looking for.
Why don't you find us an editor?
Yeah, if we had someone that like right now, as we were talking about these things, like hackers, those titties would have been on the screen and we'd be reacting to them like in real time. Oh,
exactly.
Yeah. So we just, we need you, whoever you are out there. I don't know if you see the Netflix series You.
No, I haven't.
Oh my God, you got to see that too.
All right, I'll write that down. What was
You
the other
People's
one?
the
You
movie.
People. Okay.
Which I don't even want to try to describe because I'm gonna sound.
You're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, I'm gonna sound bad. But You People is an amazing fucking movie. And
disclaimer: You People is not in reference to any specific type of people.
Hopefully, you know about the movie. Yeah, all of us people.
And You is a show.
You is a show about a stalker type of dude.
Okay,
and every girl he loves because he's like it's poetry, but he's reading, and so it's like you, and he's always saying like everything they're doing for him and how great they are, and they've never met.
Okay,
it's just kind of
all right.
It's hard to explain.
I'll check it out. Do you have Apple TV?
Yeah, I do.
Do you watch any other shit on there?
They have some of the best shows. I'd say.
Fuck, dude. Have you seen Shining Girls yet?
No.
Watch it. It's
Shining?
Shining Girls is a mind fuck. Reverend? No, not Severance.
Severance. I've seen Severance.
Fuck.
Crazy, dude.
I want that to come back.
Have you seen See?
No.
It's where they're all blind and vision is like a myth. It'd be like trying to explain why.
No.
And they how they go to battle. It's crazy. There's like 2 or 3 seasons too, so you'd be able to, if you like it, get stuck.
I'm always looking for new shows.
And it's got the Aquaman dude is like.
Okay. I tried to start watching that, but I couldn't get into it.
If I don't know why for me. I mean,
was it right away or did it take a second?
It took a few episodes. I mean, it's kind of like a Vikings-ish show. So some of those shows.
That's why I started it. Yeah.
But once you realize like how detailed these like. The writer, how much detail goes into not like how you live if you couldn't see.
Right.
It's just like kind of mind bending.
And thinking about all the
thinking about
aspects,
it, and you're like, man, look how they're like getting around or like sensing things.
Yeah. There was a movie like that just came out where there was like a monster, so they had to blindfold themselves.
Oh shit! I don't know if I've seen the.
It had like Sandra Bullock in it. It's older, I think. I think it was Sandra Bullock, but
like they didn't want to. Oh yes,
they had to it had to be quiet.
They were going down the river.
They were going down
with
the
their
river.
Eyes covered, and they're using a fishing line and shit.
It's crazy, right?
She like hooked something to know like where.
Right. Yeah. And it was like they put out sand so it would like quiet their footsteps.
Yes. Oh shit, that was a good one too.
I wish I could remember what that was called.
That was probably like a COVID era one because they were doing them where there's like one actor.
Right.
Maybe 2, like almost no one. You're making these movies just around one star. They can give this emotional, a good soundtrack, a good actor,
and a good story. And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. That one was exhilarating. And I remember thinking there's only like 6 people I seen in this whole movie, but it's really just her and the kid or whatever.
Yeah. I think 1 or 2 kids.
Was it 2? Yeah.
I thought it was 2. Maybe not. I don't know. I saw it when I was drinking all the time.
I'm like visualizing some of the scenes right now, just talking about it.
My wife will know what it's called. I'll have to ask her later.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Apple TV. I'm starting to get into that. And then like
there's some other older ones I'm trying to remember that were really good. But in general, Apple Plus is what it is.
That's what I signed up for. Yeah.
So it's like a Netflix.
You get your 2 terabytes of fucking storage to go with all the extra shit, right? It like pays for itself basically.
Wait, what?
Oh, are you paying for it all separately? So there's an Apple thing where you pay for it all. It's like $30 a month and you get everything. Fucking.
I love when they start bundling shit, but you've already paid for it.
Oh,
so
totally.
You don't just fall into that hole. It's like.
Well, but they totally like recommended it to me. I don't even know how to figure it out.
I'm at the point. Well, I'm just glad you mentioned that, but I'm at the point now because the 2 terabytes isn't enough for like the whole family to share. So now everyone's got to get their own individuals.
Right.
And I'm like, fuck. Like, I mean, it's because of me. It's all like the shit I saved on my iPad. I'm like 1,500. I'm like 1.5 terabytes, and then there's everyone else.
You got to go through and clean your shit out. Is what
I even like deleted the duplicates, and but yeah, I do need to probably purge.
I don't even know how I would go in here and look and tell you what the fuck that is. That program that I'm on. Remind me later, but yeah, it's got so you get Apple TV, Apple Music, the 2 terabytes, Apple Arcade, Apple Books, all the shit podcasts.
Okay, so I had that. But I didn't have, for whatever reason at the time, it wasn't including the 2 terabytes.
I think they just started that when I
because now you can select
iPhones.
too, like, because it's Apple News, like you said, Apple Music, it's all the Apple stuff. But I think you can like select maybe. It used to be you had to have all of them, and now you can be like, I just want the arcade, and I just want.
Yeah, see, I need to look into that too because I don't do the news, I don't do the arcade, I don't do.
The arcade's legit because Jet's age, I had bought these. PS5 or whatever remotes off Amazon. They're like China knockoffs.
Yeah, and they work the phones.
And they Bluetooth to the Apple TV, and that's how you play on the TV. So the Apple TV, go to the arcade, and it's like all these app games.
That's a good idea.
And they're not amazing, but they're included.
Yeah.
So,
might as well.
If you didn't have Fortnite to go play, you'd probably find some game that you loved.
Yeah, well, Fortnite.
But he'll randomly be in there playing it. It's just something different.
Yeah.
It is when you're a kid.
Yeah. You go back and all of a sudden you're playing Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Or Mario Brothers.
Yeah. What's funny though, they don't have any of that because they have to have their own style. Like they don't have Nintendo games because they're not a Nintendo.
Yeah. Well, I've seen Sonic, but it's like just those stupid ring catcher or like running style games. I hate those infinite running games.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, nowadays you run forward instead of.
Yeah.
You're on some kind of fucking.
Yeah. So episode 12, we got some shit to talk about. And honestly, the last month has been a weird, I feel like it has been the same kind of things to talk about though, right? Like what else, what happened a month ago that
this has been an evolution of
true,
right?
Yeah.
What I liked is that normally when we're doing it every week, sometimes we don't have enough time to hear all the information. We're just giving as we know it.
Yeah.
And then it's changed by the next week.
Right.
There's like a new interpretation.
Or what we said happened.
Or
we were right.
Or we were right, of course. Sometimes that takes longer than a week.
Yeah.
But it's getting shorter. It's like how music used to travel from LA to here. Used to take like a year.
Right.
And then then in high school, it was starting to take like 6 months. Whatever was popular in the Bay or LA. And then we'd start hearing it.
Totally.
Or some kid from LA would move here and have completely different music they're listening to.
Yeah.
And then you might learn it from them.
I feel like it's kind of like there's some songs when you go down to LA, you'll hear on the radio that are like, oh, you wouldn't necessarily hear that, like an E40 mix or something like that you wouldn't necessarily hear up here. But yeah, it's coming. It's pretty quickly.
Well, and since the age of the internet, it's just kind of like, boom, it's on Spotify or SoundCloud or,
Yeah. Another good example is like fashion. You remember how it used to take years to get from East Coast to West Coast. And now it's like it's all at the same time.
Yeah. Like worldwide.
Worldwide. Basically. Yeah. Everything is worldwide instant.
Yeah.
That sucks. It's like, it's too much pressure. It's too much pressure. Like everybody knows everything all the time at once.
Even if it's a lie.
And so they know, and then they forget that it was a lie, and then it's just fact.
Right.
It turns into fact.
Right.
So
that's called news.
Yeah, that's what the news is.
Lies that slowly morph into facts.
So, are you on truth.com or Truth Social or whatever?
I tried to get on, and I was having a hard time like making my account.
Yeah, it's kind of lame, but I finally got on it, and I'm like, man, Trump is missing out on fucking Twitter. Like, he's missing out on millions and millions and millions of fucking views. Because he just wants to.
It's like business.
It is. It's business.
Like it's like I'm drinking at my bar, so if you want to come see me, you got to come here.
Yeah, and I did. So I signed up recently, and it's all right. He just needs to get on Twitter.
Yeah, it was funny because I have this dude on my Instagram that's like a liberal. He posts like the opposite content that I post. Not even that I would say, I guess I'm concerned, I don't know. I don't like to even fall into those two lanes. So I feel like that's its own little trap.
Oh yeah. The line has been drawn in the sand though. So we have to choose. I think we have to choose.
Right. So if I had to choose,
time.
I'm choosing the fucking sane side right now.
Yeah.
The sane side used to be the left lane and now it's the right lane.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to switch.
Sometimes you have to switch lanes to not
Apparently
run into
these
somebody.
days. Yeah. But anyhow, we got into it and it was just kind of funny. Like people were like kind of questioning what he said and it just he wasn't even coming back with like coherent answers.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, hey, well, you said this. And it was like starting an argument. And I was like, this is like some Facebook shit right here.
Yeah.
Like this is why I'm not on social.
Was it face to face or no?
No, hell no.
Yeah, okay.
Well, of course, it was on fucking Instagram.
Social, yeah.
But I'd like to follow him because I want to see the content, like what he. Obviously, you don't post something. I don't think you post something like, "Oh, I'm going to put some bullshit out there that tricks," or someone's slanted. Yeah, there's people, but most people are posting it because they literally are like had an emotional response to the video, and they're like, "Oh, I need to share this."
Right.
But then when you realize they don't even know what they're talking about, like timeline wise,
that's what's frustrating. And I mean, so like we're going to talk about today, the January 6th stuff. Like I even was fucking brainwashed by the fact I thought like the guys went in there and like literally destroyed the place and like were murderous and rioters. Like it was, I thought, I was like, oh wow, well, that's not what like should have happened. It should have been peaceful. This ain't no BLM fucking riot. You know what I mean? Like, but we're coming to find out that it was different, right? So
yeah, obviously someone cherry picked some footage.
So you can't like that's not how news should work. It's got to be a non-biased, all the information, or how can you make I need to be presented with all the information to make an informed decision, and no one has that anymore.
Well, and like on our list, the Tucker stuff when he released the footage.
Yeah. So
they're saying he cherry picked shit.
Yeah. Well, no, and
the other side of the tree. So now we know what the tree looks like.
Now we have all the information.
We got all the cherries.
He picked the rest of the cherries.
Yeah.
You guys picked all the bad cherries.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking those.
Yeah.
Here's the rest.
Right.
So speaking of our list, we got a couple things to talk about today.
What do we got?
So at the top of the list, actually, we got a couple weeds. We're going to test. We got some jungle cake and some cereal milk. Jungle cake sounds like it's going to be interesting. Going to be fun. So we're going to put those on the tester. We're going to smoke some and we're going to get super high because this is going to be our first. You're not drinking today?
No.
This is going to be our first dry episode.
Dry.
Ow. But it's weird drinking water, but not too weird.
No, because you got me all high on your fucking your Puffco. I was all articulate and straight ahead. I was like, actually, I'm going to eat this episode alive. And then I hit the dabber like 8 times and I was like.
And then I raised the temperature.
When I went to go pee, I was like, man, kind of feel like I drank a couple of beers.
And we're going to hit it some more. So we got some weed to smoke, some Puffco to smoke. And I finally figured out the good temp on this. I'm finally starting to like my Puffco, guys.
And I'm going to bring mine next time. Yeah. And we're both going to have our own Puffcos.
It'll be legit.
And we're still going to pass them back and forth.
Yeah, because sharing is caring.
Yeah, and that's just what stoners do. You always hand it to the next person.
Yeah, pass it to the lefty.
Two joints going.
The same thing.
Same weed, same wax. Still going to be like, let me try yours. It might be a little better.
Yeah, maybe you rolled yours better.
Something's
more
different.
Airflow.
Yeah. That's when it doesn't come out of a machine.
Yeah, and so you got a different bowl piece on yours, so
that's
it might
true.
Be a different experience.
That's true.
Different temperatures.
See, that's very true.
Always,
we can compare them.
Yeah, compare and contrast.
Yeah. It's like, okay. Now I'm stoked.
Yeah, see, it's not just going to be samesies.
That's true.
So what's going on in the world today, guys? The Central Valley's flooding. We are under the water quite a bit. Looks like we have quite a few videos to watch here. Record rainfall. I think the entire state is getting record rainfall. It's not just us. Even there's flooding was so bad down in LA. I think like people actually died just because California is not prepared for this much water at once.
We're not built for this.
Yeah, which it would be nice because it wouldn't be that hard to put up a couple extra dams here and there, and we wouldn't have to just release it all into the levees, which go right into the ocean when the farmers have nothing to pump it into, but we'll talk about that later. Sure. So straight from the Central Valley, we're going to go nationwide to the Trump arrest, which, if you didn't know, was probably a distraction. I was assuming it was a distraction. Do we know what for yet? Don't answer.
We have ideas.
We have ideas. Okay. So we have ideas. And I'm excited to talk about that because I told everybody Trump wasn't going to get arrested. And even my Democratic friends didn't believe me, right? They were like, oh, no, he's.
Oh, they were like, yeah. Like they say, if you agree with the headline, it's probably not true.
Yeah. It's about time. He deserves it. Like, oh, you guys are fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. But like the facts matter. Speaking of facts, we're going to talk about January 6 files and footage. We're going to show some of the other side of things. Matt Taibi, he's in here. He's been in some headlines. Do you have them asking about him in the Senate and stuff too?
I have some Senate testimony,
Okay.
a couple of videos where they're harassing him a little bit.
Good.
So
yeah. And then, okay, we got some riot videos. Then we're going to get a little weird. So if you guys haven't heard about Project Blue Beam, Joe Rogan has some pretty good podcasts on it.
Yeah.
Who else? Is it Dr. this Greer guy?
Yeah, the Dr. Stephen Greer. He's kind of like a
But he was on
expert.
Rogan, right?
And they removed it whenever he switched over to Spotify. It didn't make it.
Got it.
So you can't get that one anymore apparently. But he's
It's got to
on.
be somewhere.
It might still be out there. Someone
Yeah.
might have it. I just don't know if you can stream it.
Got it.
The same way you would on Spotify.
So Project Blue Beam, God, it's a tongue twister.
Right.
Project Blue Beam is some crazy shit, and it's coming. They've kind of already warned us with some movies, and I buy into it.
Yeah, all this project, this and this, I used to think was all bullshit, but then all these are programs that the government was running, so there's some validity to them.
Yeah.
And then you start lining up some dots and,
Yeah.
maybe you're just crazy.
And maybe we should do a whole not conspiracy theory episode, because by the end of it, sometimes I'm really depressed. I'm like, fuck, there's like no hope. And then we're like, a couple guys just talking about shit and like, what can we do?
Yeah, it's like a degradation of morale throughout the episode.
It totally is.
Yeah,
like,
maybe we need to start doing the episodes in reverse.
And yeah, I wish we could. Like, okay, so this is how we have it. So let's start with the crazy shit.
Yeah, like you start drunk and fucked up, and then you get sober. I guess you'd have to have a bunch of drugs, but you'd get sober, and then all by the end, you're drinking waters, and you're clearly talking, and you're giving out the information.
Yeah, that sounds weird.
It's funny you say that, though, because I tried to put something, I don't remember what it was. Oh, yeah, I put the Kyle Dunnigan new fresh prez of DC for the end. So after we're done,
got it,
and we get out of the deep, black, dark rabbit hole,
yay,
we can at least laugh for a couple of minutes at Biden. It's got Gates, a bunch of people. It's like,
nice.
The filters are better every fucking month. So
fuck, this AI
it's
thing
hilarious.
Is boggling my
mind.
mind.
My God. I wish I'm so dumb. Like, I don't even know how to attempt to use them. Like,
I'm just not going down that rabbit hole because if I did, I wouldn't do anything else. Because
the lady I talked to today, sorry to cut you off, is older, and she uses Chat GPT. She writes books to edit everything. She's like, you basically have it edit prior to your editor, and then you don't have as much edits
that
needed.
It's cheaper.
Cheaper. Yeah. I'm like, you're using like
Chat GPT. Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
And then I seen Adam Schultz on Rogan saying like, he's like, I just want to ask it Google questions because that's the only thing I know how to like.
Right.
How else? What other way do I?
Yeah, exactly. And it's not what it is.
Right. That's not.
Yeah, it's way more advanced than Google.
And there's GPT-4 now, which they say, I think they were on the Schultz podcast. They were saying it's like God, and if you tell it's God, it'll start talking to you like it's God.
Oh God.
Type of shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It probably thinks it's God, right? Because within itself, it's got a whole entire universe and all the knowledge of the universe in the world, right? So like, it probably thinks it's God. That's scary.
And Lex Friedman's podcast, just the Sam, whatever the dude's name is that came up with GPT, he was on Lex Friedman the other day, so that's like one that's like everyone's watching.
Gotcha.
And he's explaining like, I don't know, just kind of how they did it, and people used to laugh at him. I think they called it like AGI. They used to call it before whatever they call the AI now.
Right.
But anyway, go watch that one too. It's pretty good if you want to get the details on like the Chat GPT.
Yeah.
That's Sam Altman.
Sam Altman.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of the end. When computers are doing everything for us.
Of the world.
Yeah, it is. I mean, have you seen Wall-E? You've seen the movie Wall-E, right?
Yeah, I've seen Wall-E.
This is Wall-E,
Yeah.
you know, Ready Player.
Man, especially when Ready Player One. Oh, that'll be the next. You know.
They got to make it at least cooler, but I mean, come on. And when they make VR cool enough that nobody wants to do anything, and then you can use your own life force to fund other things, you know what I mean? Like, nobody will do anything.
Well, that's what that Sam Altman I saw in an interview was just saying how the world's going to change. There's going to be all these jobs that go away because of Chat GPT, but there's also going to, he's like, I think we can make better ones.
Right. Well, but at the same time, movies are going to suck. It's all going to be written by a fucking robot. It's going to be produced by now a robot can write the movie, produce the movie, animate the movie, or make it look real. You're like, what the fuck? Like, where's The Simpsons going to go? Where's Family Guy going to go?
You know, I don't know if they will ever use that because they wouldn't be what they are.
Yeah, I hope not. Right? I hope not. Either that or they've been using the AI the whole time and we don't know.
They're on
like
GPT-5 or whatever. Yeah.
Have you seen the South Park episode where it's like The Simpsons or something is written by like the magical manatees or something like that? It's like the manatees pick out balls and that's how they come up with like topics for everything.
Yeah, well, they're on to something for sure.
Yeah.
they're doing something.
All right, so in local news, let's segue back locally here before we get too out of the ordinary. So man, this flooding here, my mouse doesn't work.
Fuck, it's been crazy. It's never been like this in my entire lifetime, or probably us and our parents. But
yeah. Well, we didn't move here, until I met you. You know, I was like, well, that's not true. I guess we lived in like Paso and all that shit. But as long as I can remember, never, ever.
Well, the lines that are at the lake, for instance, it was like, I don't know, 5 years ago. In the last 10 years, that's when those lines, the highest lines were then.
Right.
So forever, it was lower than that, at least since I was a kid.
And we're, 20, 40 feet above the highest lines now?
Yeah, I don't know what the measurements were. I didn't read, but I just saw visually that we're above those. And
it's maxed.
And they built so much shit down because it was low. There's so much stuff underwater, like, I mean, I guess even normal natural shit's underwater.
You're right.
But yeah, this video, they're trying to save the levee and save all their crops on the other side.
Okay. So is this
so they're
is
driving,
local?
Yeah, they're driving trucks into the fucking, the little embankment with dirt in the back and just letting them fucking sink, trying to block.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
And they do 2 of them and they kind of land like probably where they wanted. I don't know if in the end it, saved them, but
yeah.
It's pretty crazy. But I guess when you got millions of dollars, who cares about a truck?
I didn't know he was going to drive the whole truck in there.
Look, there's another one in there too.
Stop right there, baby. Stop right there.
Yes.
Yep.
Right there, yes.
Yep.
Because their levees broke and they had to save their shit, right?
Yeah, they're trying to keep it from going over to there.
Yeah, you got $1 million crops right there.
Yeah.
Show!
Stop right there, baby. Stop right there.
Yes.
Yep.
Right
That's
there,
our
yes.
truck.
Yep.
You look at that. That's
Yep.
a 2011 F-150.
Yep.
Dang. Farmer drives 2 trucks into levee breach to prevent crops from flooding. Fuck, good for him.
My neck's tight.
I wish it wouldn't play automatically without sound. Give me sound or don't play
I
automatically.
think once you unclick the sound, it might stay unclicked like while we're at. We'll see.
Let's see. Is this all local still?
Yeah, so this was Springville or above like Porterville, basically.
Okay. Yeah, and they evacuated these guys.
Yeah, so you'll see why.
Oh, shit.
flash floods in California, March 10, 2023. The National Weather Service in Hanford has issued a flash flood warning for south-central Tulare County through 9:45 a.m. today. Porterville, East Porterville, Poplar Cotton Center, Woodville, Springville, Opening Oak, and Camp Nelson. A Pacific storm that entered a river in the atmosphere hit California with torrential rains that have caused flooding, mudslides in parts. The Tulare County Sheriff has issued an evacuation order for Three Rivers County. Currently flash floods are in progress or are expected to occur soon. The evacuation order will cover all homes and businesses on North Fork Drive, south of Bailey Bridge to Sierra Drive, Highway 198, in South Fork Drive, north
This
of
is our
Conley Bridge to
national weather
Sierra
alert
Drive,
that we
Highway
got.
198,
Yes.
along Middle Fork, Sierra Drive, Highway
They're just
198.
playing the same
we got
ones
the
over and
gist.
over, yeah.
But yeah, so they got fucked. Like, I don't know how we haven't really got anything right where we're at, but if they start letting water out the 198, I'm going to potentially be in trouble.
Yeah, you will be for sure. Whoa.
Look at that farmland. That shit's toasted.
That's like beautiful, but scary.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it's just funny that we were talking about Tulare Lake on whatever episode.
Yeah.
First few episodes.
Yeah. And this is why.
And look.
It wants to
it's
be a lake.
It's coming back.
It wants to be a lake. Eesh.
It's crazy. And apparently there's still been no word from our fearless governor, Gavin Newsom.
Oh, he's still on vacation, isn't he?
Oh, probably.
Didn't he go to like
Was that what it
France or
was?
something
Yeah,
like
I
that?
didn't even hear that.
He went on vacation.
Oh.
Yeesh. Well, fuck, my heart goes to all these people. Do we got one more? Or was that the last one? Oh, kind of the same one.
That must have been.
County, California. This video happening now on Fox Weather. We are taking you out to Tulare County, California. This video
We made
occurring
national
yesterday.
news.
Notice all of the farmland completely inundated with water. This is incredible, Craig. I mean, literally turning these farms into not just ponds, but entire lakes. And then
Look at
some.
that
I mean,
shit.
it's just heartbreaking to see. I know that this is a place that you're very familiar with.
Yeah, this is the first place I worked in Fresno. And Kendall, you're talking about all kinds of farmland. You're talking about citrus trees. You're talking about figs. You're talking about grapes. You're talking about almonds. So many agricultural communities out here.
All the Native American homies are like, fuck around and find out.
Yeah, no shit. Bro, we tried to tell you.
You think this is permanent, right? And you know, like weather changes every 100 years, every 50 years, like the patterns change. What if we hit a 20-year fucking wet pattern that nobody was prepared for? Like,
We are 100%
We're
that's
fucked.
going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were saying like other countries, I can't remember, like fucking some Swiss country or something, but they build their shit for the every 100,000 year storm.
right. Yeah.
And
yeah.
we build our shit for the every once 100 year storm.
Yeah, and that's
you know?
stupid. Or if
Fucking
you're
stupid.
in Louisiana, you build it for the every year we're just going to build over the fucking
Right.
shit.
Right.
Oh, man. Well, that's going to be interesting to see what happens here in California, man. That's crazy. I feel terrible, though, for these
yeah.
farms.
Yeah. And I mean, those, you know, yeah, you have insurance and all that shit, but that's not like, it's, you know, when you have your whole operation shut down,
Right.
that
No,
takes more
insurance
to
isn't
get it.
gonna cover
That's
that.
not going to, you know, that
No.
might cover what you owed.
You're going to cover costs barely, maybe.
Yeah.
And then, like, are you going to be able to pay bills?
Yeah.
Are you going to pay loans off still?
Yeah.
Credit?
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not. Well, what'd you sign me out for, bitch? We were supposed to do weeds.
Yeah. Well, should I grind one up?
Yeah, let's do the fun one first.
Okay.
Obvi. So that one is, I forgot. You're gonna tell me though.
Jungle Cake.
Jungle Cake. Let's look up some specs on Jungle Cake while he's grinding. Get some ASMR in there. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, it is.
Jungle Cake was created by Seed Junkie Genetics and is a cross between Whitefire number 43 and Wedding Cake. It is a hybrid strain with an average 30% THC content, making it a pleasant but powerful high. It's been reported to have a pleasant kush aroma with hints of marshmallow, diesel, and earth. Let me smell that shit. Yum.
It smells really good.
Smells really good. Oh my God,
Yeah,
I haven't
it's got
smelled
that.
good like weed like that.
I know.
And let me guess, you got that at a dispensary, right?
Nope.
Wrong. Why am I wrong every single time?
Those damn dispensaries, you know. I don't know why the store doesn't have the best weed. It's weird.
I'm going to find you that tray real quick.
Okay. Yeah, because otherwise I'm going to fuck your table up. It's going to look like your fucking 92-year-old grandma was eating at the table when I'm done.
I know this.
With one eye. Oh, God. I'm going to knock over more stuff than I save. Start reaching for things.
Did you lift for me? Just this. Yep. What the fuck?
No tray? Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, there it is.
It was camouflage.
Third shelf. Yeah, it looked like it was built in over there. It's like
It's your weed, but it's probably stale.
it looks a little yellow. It's ambered up a little bit. Let's push you over here.
If I would have known it was there, it wouldn't be there.
It'll be there later.
It'll be woohoo! Maybe a couple extra little crumblies too.
Yeah, no shit. There'll be a little more with it. Okay, so anyway, I think you need to do that part, right?
Yeah.
I'll just pack some. We got our diamond glass back. I got to suck on the old the canister. I don't know what else to call it. It's so big. That's what she said.
Not like you're bitter or anything. You brought that thing over here.
I know. And you know, I hadn't used it. It was just brand new.
Yeah.
So I didn't know. I
made
didn't
it
bring
as
it
good
over
as
here
possible.
knowing it was so bad. I thought it was going to be cool. And then it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It was definitely a showpiece,
Yeah, that's what it is.
you know?
It just stays up on the wall now. It's fine.
So it's, you know, it's just remembrance of a time back when.
Yeah. Okay. I think I got this thing dialed. Finally. My friend pointed out to me the other day, or not, you know, recently, he's about how much shit I talk about this thing. I was like,
We're all Purple sponsor us, like shitting on him. You're like, no, because I'll be like, Purple. You're like, yeah, maybe they'll send me one that works. Yeah, he's probably right.
Yeah.
Now that I'm like, oh yeah, well, what is rolling around in my brain when I hear that? Like, oh, Kenny's voice.
Yeah. So, Purple, when you do listen, just ignore the previous
It's an
episodes.
evolution.
It is an evolution.
It's an evolution, guys.
That's where we're at.
We're all just trying to get a little bit better at each day. Or
We're
at
getting
least
better together.
not go backwards.
That's right. Let's see, is it going to let me? Nope. Refresh.
Right now, when I went to light it, I felt like whenever you start to smoke weed in your mom's house and you're not supposed to, but then you're like, oh, wait, she's out of town. You know? That was like the feeling I got. It was like, as I was like, am I going to have to run outside and blow this out?
Right.
You know, you're like,
oh shit, right.
holding it in, you know, you're like, oh no,
Yep.
I just took a hit and the kids are right here. I got to fucking run out the door.
Yep. Nope. It's a Sunday. The filter's running. We should be good.
I'll hit my pin sometimes, like in my mom's house, and I'll kind of forget. I just try not to like hotbox their house, you know?
Yeah.
Not that she'd probably just tell me to go outside or something.
Yeah.
At the worst, but I'm always like, you know, the outside is just right there.
Right. It's not that far.
It's not that big. And pins, you know, they do their job. So
Yeah. Well, you know, the pen thing, the pen evaporates as long as if it's a live resin one. You can't do that inside. You can't be discreet with live resin whatsoever.
yeah, I know. My wife's been known to smoke out a few bathrooms, and she's like, yeah, whenever I have those and someone goes in after, they'll be like, damn, like, the hell?
Yeah.
It's like, huh?
So attention, Purple Pro.
Purple.
I finally figured it out. Now, granted, you have to like massage it counterclockwise, tap it 3 times, and then slam it down. But I figured out how to actually get it to work for me. But seriously,
So you figured out how to treat her?
if I have it plugged in, it'll turn on right away for me. Right. So
Yes.
but I have to have it plugged. Like I can't go somewhere and expect it to turn on for me, which isn't necessarily ideal. But hey, it works here for the podcast.
You would think it's on the box. It'd stay on the box. Doesn't work without cord, or it'd have like a spot where the cable goes.
Well, it's supposed to.
okay. So
It is supposed to. So that is this is a faulty.
All right.
This is faulty here, but I've figured out how to make it work. So as long as it can do its job, I'm happy ish. So Purple, you can still send me a new one that works.
Fuck you, Purple.
Okay, this is really good weed. I'm like already fucking high.
Dude, I'm telling you. I don't know. I think it's the terps or something. I don't think it's necessarily the THC.
Nice entourage.
Yeah. It's the entourage that people need to learn about and stop getting caught up on the fucking THC percentages.
Unless you're talking about pens.
Unless you're talking about pens, of which, so I ran across a guy at a little like a vendor thing around the corner from my house, and he had a heavy hitters pen,
Yeah.
and it was 95%. Motherfucking shit looked like Dr. Pepper down there. Okay, it was in the kind of carts that no one fucking wants, with where you can see the white holes down at the bottom. Not holes. I'm sorry, the white absorptive material down at the bottom.
Oh, that's actually like cotton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some form. So it can get burnt, and it usually gets plugged on the way down. $50 some, or no, it's 50. So it was like like $60 some with tax.
Jesus. For full gram?
For
at
1
least?
gram.
Oh, okay. At least it's
And
a full gram.
Not even a good atomizer. It's like an old school cart, like not even new tech.
You know,
But they get those old dudes, you know, because they don't know no different.
yeah. Well, I feel like once this fucking flood is over, which we're almost to the end of it because all that weed is bad now, and all they can do is extract it and turn it into distillate. But I think things are going to start coming back, you know, like to the black market side of things, which, you know,
You mean the quality side?
the quality side, because it's craft. Like those are the people that take the time to grow good fucking pot. And I don't even like calling it.
I love using. That's like craft weed is
Yeah.
like craft beer.
Yeah,
at
I
this
don't even
point.
like using the word black market because that's not what it is. It's people that enjoy their fucking hobby and their craft, right? That's
Yeah.
why I like to call it like,
I call it the gray market. Just doesn't sound as bad.
yeah.
Because the real gray market, I think, is the legal shops selling their stuff.
That is what
I think that's the true
the
gray market.
Yeah,
but
it
I
is.
do like to consider, you know,
Or them putting their black market shit in there,
It's
like
like-
filling their own and putting it in the shops too.
Well, the gray market's probably not the second. It's like you were saying, when it starts going bad, you know, you got to get rid of it. So the prices on some of this, you know, if it's too good to be true, it always is.
Right. But then why is it still $60? So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the prices aren't going to come down. Maybe they're just going to turn it all into distillate and hold on to it and sell it for a premium until the end of fucking time.
Well, it seems like too, like now more and more, not that I go into those shops, so I wouldn't have firsthand knowledge, but they have brands that the clubs are selling their stuff. So they're carrying these brands, but most people aren't buying them.
Yeah.
They're buying their whatever half price or, damn near half price close version. It's probably like some warehouse that's just bomb, but it's still like mass production. So there's still this kind of cap on the quality that you're going to get. Like,
yeah, there's some good brands out there. Don't get me wrong. One of my homies has a brand, Clout King, and they specialize in craft quality. Like their warehouses are craft quality warehouses. You know what I mean? So there are good brands out there, but they're not everywhere. And the ones like Cookies and the one you just said, what was it called again? The one that your homie brought over. I don't remember. Jeter, was it a Jeter?
It was the Jeter joints.
Okay.
What I was talking, or I'm sorry, heavy hitters.
Heavy
Talking
hitter.
about the pen.
Yeah, the pen.
Sorry.
All right, heavy hitters. But anyways, all of those, like their quality is just going down. I do remember when you brought over a heavy hitters once that was pretty clear. It was pretty damn clear.
Yeah, no, I was actually surprised, but I'm like, well, I mean,
was it Black Market?
He's going to these are like old white dudes. Like they don't have a connect. They got to go to the store. That's the only place they know.
Fucking A. You did explain that pretty clearly. I'm high.
Jungle cake.
Yeah, I'm so high.
Dude.
All right, let's measure this bitch. Measure now. I like prepped it all quietly so I can just be slick about it. And I'm not drunk, so I think I'm less irritable. Over 30%.
Over 30. Well, it smokes like it.
Yes, it does. Total CBD under 2. Non-detectable. Moisture 8.9%. That's pretty good. That is excellent.
So, yeah. Screenshot that. Or...
I screen recorded it.
Okay, perfect.
I'll screenshot it too. Bam. Yeah.
Too bad. That was basically the end of it.
Well, we still get to smoke the little bit that was in here.
Yep. No, we have, I mean, there's not, there's no large amounts going around. Yeah. It's there might be enough to smoke for a couple days left and that's it.
Gotcha. Well, compliments to the chef.
I know it was one of those like, didn't get a whole lot of it.
Yeah, it's probably a low yielder too.
Probably.
It doesn't look very high yielding. Is that what it looked like? Ish? Or was it more like nuggy?
It was a little frostier. Well, here, you can.
Oh, you have some. Okay.
It was like an eighth, so that should still be enough.
Oh, yeah, but that's still like it's not like cherry cookie style buzz by any means.
No. Yeah, it's definitely different than the cherry.
Oh, yeah, I'm happy with that. I brought some weed too, but shit, you win.
Both of these are so good. This one might test at that same. I mean, check that one out. It's got the look.
Ooh, it's got the look. Damn, yeah, that looks nicer.
But I don't think it smokes quite the same. Like it doesn't give me that giddy high that I used to feel when I was 16, like the jungle cake.
Yeah, this, even though it says it's a hybrid, it feels more.
I feel like the jungle cake maybe is like a painkiller type effect because usually it's like when you take like a Norco or something. I read in a book. You get a little more talkative because you feel good.
Is it the more talkative because you don't feel bad though, right?
Yeah, it's like you feel good. So it's like all the bad's not there. You're
Right.
like,
So I read in a book.
it was a long book.
It was a long book.
Hell long. Hate that book.
Well, so that was a single successful weed test. Let's see what happens when we're ready to get on to the next one.
Oh, yeah.
We can do that later, though, too.
Yeah, that's good.
Like, casually. Okay, so what do you got? This Senator Hawley versus Merrick Garland. That's the Trump. Okay, so walk me through this because do we want to talk about it first or do we want to watch videos first?
All right, so this one that's just an exchange between Senator Hawley and the Merrick Garland, who's like in charge of whoever gives the okay to go into Trump's home.
Okay.
And there's some documents that show that the FBI was reluctant they wanted to call it off, and he wanted them to make sure that they did it.
Okay.
At least that's what he's trying to show here. So
okay.
it's chopped up. You'll recognize it. Probably a TikTok or a Twitter person that we've shown before, but
Okay. So let's go
the
through
music and everything.
and we'll talk, or we'll watch all the videos, and then we'll talk about our opinion on the matter.
Let's do that.
I'm gonna try to be quick.
Attorney General Garland, you said in our last exchange
I
that
love
it's your
this.
practice to defer to FBI agents in the field. I was interested, given your answer, to read in this morning's Washington Post that the FBI is saying that you overruled them when it came to raiding ex-President Trump's personal residence. Washington Post reports this morning, showdown before the raid, that senior FBI officials who would be in charge of leading the search resisted doing so as too combative. These field agents wanted to shutter the criminal investigation altogether, but they were overruled by Maine DOJ.
I've skimmed that article. That's not an accurate reflection of what the article says, and I'm not able to comment on the investigation. My comment earlier was about tactics on the ground in particular cases.
Wait. You said it's not I'm reading to you from the article. Quote, senior FBI officials who would be in charge of leading the search resisted the plan as too combative and proposed instead to seek Trump's permission to seek his property, according to 4 people, end quote.
There is often a robust discussion, and in the end, and it's encouraged among investigators and prosecutors.
Yes, and you made the decision.
I did. That's
right. You said you did.
No, I'm sorry. What I said was I approved the decision.
So you didn't make the decision to raid?
I approved the decision to seek a search warrant after probable cause was
overruling the FBI agents who did not want to do so. Did you talk about this with the White House?
The memorandum does not. That Washington Post article does not say what you're saying. I'm sorry, and I'm not able to describe this in any further.
Mr. Chairman, I'll just ask that this entire article be entered into the record.
Without objection.
And we can read for ourselves. I invite people to go and look. It says exactly that FBI field agents did not want to conduct a raid.
I did my homework.
And they were overruled by DOJ. So it doesn't seem to me, Attorney General, that the FBI has a lot of confidence in you, because what they're doing clearly is trying to distance themselves from your decisions. They're out there leaking left, right, and center and saying it wasn't us. We didn't want to do it.
His face right there at the end too.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
It's funny. He's like, what did he say? I didn't say I approved, or I approved it. I didn't.
Yeah, I approved it. It wasn't. I didn't recommend it.
I didn't. Yeah.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't my recommendation, but I approved it. But
like,
what the fuck?
Is that what they call semantics?
Yeah, it's got something to do with it. So this is the beginning.
That's kind of right.
This is back before we got old Joey's documents. By the way, whatever happened with Mr. Biggs or the big guy's fucking documents?
I don't know.
They found.
There's been a bunch of other Hunter Biden shit coming out too that I just figured I'd leave off for one episode.
Yeah. I think I did bookmark
my
a couple
favorite
things.
Person, as you say, or my favorite topic.
Yeah. Actually, though, on that topic, did you see how they're trying to put him in jail for admitting to be a gun owner and a drug user?
Yes. Yes, I did. And he was like, what's the charge for that? Like 5 to 10?
Yeah.
He's like, actually, it's been up to 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And he
so why haven't you arrested?
His own hole. So why? Yes.
Yeah. Why hasn't Hunter Biden been arrested yet? Well, all right, Elmer Fudd. Fuck.
This world we live in. And I thought this world was so transparent. This is another one that does that to me.
1, 2, 3. Yes, sir.
Video looks bigger.
1, 2, 3.
Why did he count down or count up?
I don't know. I didn't hear
Hold on, that distracted the shit out of me, so now I have to start
quiet.
it over.
Is it quiet on yours?
Yeah, it's super
I can't
quiet,
even hear it.
and I got it all the way up. Hold on, let me see if I can. It's all the way. There's always like some of these TikToks are like that.
Yeah, what the fuck? All right,
it's all right.
Let's be quiet.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
About the investigation that your 3 committee chairman
Oh, he's counting his committee chair members. Like right then and there, right? So he's asking a question about his.
Yes, sir.
That's your 3 committee chairmen. And then he counts them. 1, 2.
Okay, so that's so funny because this dude, I gotta say, I love this fucking Kevin McCarthy now.
Okay.
I love him now.
Okay.
I doubted him at first, and maybe I will again, but right now I love this motherfucker. I've been completely hypnotized by the way he is.
Okay.
And he's just
So that's a
done
very
things.
intentional act, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, because what he's about to do,
Okay.
he's being a
no
fucking...
spoilers. No spoilers. All right, let's watch it. We're going to pause it 10 more times.
Look, the thing I think about, it was interesting. Someone briefed me on the use of money, a situation like this before. And you probably covered this. Remember when the DNC and Hillary Clinton paid the law firm $1 million, but and said that it was for something else, and we found out later it wasn't. It was all about the Russia collusion. It wasn't for legal part. And so they went through, and they got investigated. $1 million they spent, and you know what? At the end of the day, they didn't get prosecuted. They got fined. Hillary's campaign got fined $8,000, and the DNC got fined $100,000. Even though they used $1 million, they knowingly hid the fact of what they were doing to try to hide. They got investigated. So I look at it from this perspective. We live in America, and it should be equal justice. This was personal money. This wasn't trying to hide. This was 7 years ago, statute of limitation. And I think in your heart of hearts, you know, too, that you think this is just political. And I think that's what the rest of the country thinks, and we're kind of tired of that. I mean, we're sitting up here just going through an issue conference. We just brought up 3 major bills that we've worked all of our time. We've strived to get these bills created. We worked really hard to get to the majority, telling the American public that this is what we're doing. This is what we're going through. And this is what we're explaining to you. And I know you've asked me this question a couple times all during this issue conference, and then you'll come back and it dominates the conference. No, we're not talking about this in our conference. You're just asking about it. So it only dominates your asking. But we're excited about doing something to make sure we're not dependent on China. We're very excited about making sure children and parents have a say in their kids' education. And we're excited about making America energy independent, lowering the price of gasoline for everyone, sustaining a geopolitical world that's actually safer, and actually bringing down inflation. So those are the things I focus mainly on. But I do get concerned when I look out there and I see justice not being equal to others, especially in the history of where we are. And the tough part is with a local DA playing in presidential politics. If that starts right there, don't you think it'll happen across the country? So I even watched an individual who was on your network, CNN. See, I watch your network sometimes, changing channels. And I know him well, and he's a Democrat. He's a strong liberal on the other end, and he just thought this was all wrong, too. And so I think it's a place that the country can unite.
It's a cold crowd, bro. there ain't...
playing in presidential politics. If that starts right there, don't you think it'll happen across the country? So I even watched an individual who was on your network, CNN. See, I watch your network sometimes, changing channels. And I know him well, and he's a Democrat. He's a strong liberal on the other end, and he just thought this was all wrong, too. And so I think it's a place that the country can unite. They want equal justice. They just think it's wrong.
Yeah.
Boom, motherfucker.
Yeah, that was good. Well put, Kevin McCarthy.
I'm like, he's damn near like a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, that was good. And it was like, right?
It was irrefutable, you know.
That's good.
It was really...
we need to make that... I need to write a note down. I need to make that our fucking like little blurb. That was good.
Yeah, it's... and it's not that Trump's great and, you know, Hillary, you know, all this shit happens on both sides. Like, just don't be so drunk on your own fucking party that you think that everything they feed you, you know, is good.
Yeah, let's let it be fair on both sides. And that's not saying like...
He's just saying the facts.
Right.
Yeah, Trump paid off Stormy Daniels $100,000 from something that happened a long time ago.
Well, she just wrote a letter saying that it never even happened. She wrote a signed affidavit to the courts that it never even happened.
Right. And, people are going to say, well, it's because she got, there was an incentive,
right.
Whatever. Well, Clinton does this all the time. How many people potentially may have died because of, relation to them,
Right.
So, I don't want to be next, but hypothetically, there's a list. Separate from the Epstein list.
Yeah. Oh, the Epstein list. Why hasn't one fucking person from that list been arrested? We know the answer.
Yeah, we know.
But ask yourselves, people.
What kind of word? I don't know.
What kind of world are we living in?
And it's just, it's a long explanation.
Pedophilia is okay, but we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah. Some shit's happening.
All right, so back to Trump. I like this better. Oh, yeah. Yeah. This was my contribution today, guys. I hope you like it.
And we will keep men out of women's sports.
Yeah. Look at that guy right there. He's fired up.
We will not give 1 penny to any school that is a vaccine mandate or a mask mandate.
Fucking A.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
As we did before.
You mean I can keep my kid in school?
Yeah.
Oh.
Without giving him the worst fucking thing that's ever been created.
Just gotta wait a couple years.
Yeah. Well, the unfortunate thing is now he can only serve one more term. Like if he would have been able to have 2 concurrent terms, there would have been real fucking change.
Yeah.
Now he's only got 4 more years fucking left.
It's always like that. You got to get it back to back. That's why they made sure Obama got it back to back.
Right, because he fucked so much. He was able to change so many things.
And that's why most of the time it's back to back, because once you're in, they can lobby, they made deals with you. Trump wasn't a deal maker in the same way, so they had to get him out.
I really hope Trump
Biden was so great and popular, most voted for president ever.
Then more registered voters. More people voted than more registered voters.
That's strange.
Like, let's just start at the bottom, right? Like, let's not even talk about the congressional hearings that were set, that people actually testified in Congress saying that there was. Let's not even start there. How were there more votes than registered voters, right? Like, come on. And people still, make me or try and make me feel like I'm the dumb one. No.
It's because on the news, they're taught, they bang the drum about how that's all bullshit, and anyone that thinks that any election could be stolen, because they have to try to prop up the integrity of elections.
Right. And there's no integrity.
No.
Why do you think Newsom is still fucking governor?
Right? Or why do you think fucking Pelosi's,
shit?
Why do you think anyone makes millions off of the position of public service?
Did you see the wage or net worth? I think maybe we did it on the cast. The net worth of each president after their presidency. It had Obama, Clinton, Bill Clinton. There was a couple other. I think Bush was on there too. And then they were all millions, and then there was Trump, who was still his normal fucking net worth.
Right.
And they were like, let's see their taxes. Right.
And it's like Obama, he had shit before, and that's the big secret on him.
Yeah.
That we've exposed.
Yeah, we've kind of exposed, but
it'd be nice to do a whole episode just on, or half.
Yeah. I don't know. That's okay. We can not dive deep down the rabbit hole.
We don't have to die.
Yeah, we don't have to die. Not until we can get Joe Rogan famous.
That's true. People need to know us, because right now if we just disappear, they're gonna be like, he fell in Kauai Lake.
Right.
He drove himself over there and threw him and his truck in.
Yeah, they were trying to help.
Even though the truck was in drive. And his foot was ducked to this gas pedal.
Yeah. And the bed was filled with dirt and cement and
yeah.
And the back seat had bricks.
Right.
So Trump, I was asked the other day. Oh, he's gonna say it. I heard it.
The rule of law is a tremendous threat to Western civilization. And I was asked the other day, and I took a little heat for it. They said, who's our biggest threat? Is it China, sir? Or is it Russia? I said, no, our biggest threat are high-level politicians that work in the United States government, like Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, Schumer, Biden, Justice Department, because that's poisoning our country. I can do things with China. I made the greatest trade deal in history with China. I don't even talk about it because sometime after that, fairly shortly, what happened with COVID, it was like I didn't want to talk about a trade deal. The rule of law is
At least he says it.
Yeah. Well, and I think the unfortunate thing with COVID, like after all of the shit we've gleaned from it, is it was a man-made shit being made by Fauci and partnered with China, and it got out, then it wasn't supposed to get out, and they tried to fucking retain it, and it got out even worse, right? And he, while he was president, did the best to his ability and the best to his knowledge with whatever information he had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I saw a DARPA whistleblower talking about how they've, DARPA's always trying to be ahead of the game.
Yeah.
They're the defense. Like they say they're 50 years ahead of like everything all the time. So they claim that they're the first ones that were working on mRNA stuff because they're like, well, what if a novel virus came around that, nothing would cure, and we didn't have 2 or 3 to 10 years to make a vaccine. And that's how this whole mRNA stuff started, however long ago, supposedly she was the head of DARPA, which all could just be a explanation,
Well, but so
disinformation type shit.
They were weaponizing.
Yeah.
They were taking.
They're trying to act like, oh, well, we were just trying to see if we had to, and if the world was going to collapse because of some illness, could we come up with some shit in days to months?
No, they had to. Because it was a real disease. It was, like the bird flu, the swine flu. It was the bat flu. They took the bat flu, fucking were weaponizing it, and it escaped.
Yeah.
That's at least high level, in a nutshell, everything that I've kind of gleaned from all of our conspiracy shit.
Yeah, it came from a fucking laboratory.
And
that's being openly said now.
Yeah, it didn't just happen. Like, it didn't naturally evolve.
But then they tried to just recently say it was from, some other fucking animal. They found some fucking dog. I don't remember what it was, but now it's all out there. Like, and everyone's like, no. Like, let's just stop.
Let's just stop.
Just stop.
Exactly.
Like
enough.
It's like when your kid just keeps, you're like, no.
No. Let's just zip it. Zip it.
Mine get mad because I go at the dogs. And so when I'm trying to get anyone's attention and it's in that quick reaction moment, I go,
I'm not a dog.
I'm not a dog. I'm like, well, you stopped.
Oh,
you knew what it meant.
Yeah, you knew what it meant. You knew what you were supposed to do, didn't you?
It's code.
Fucker. Well,
anyway.
So is Trump officially, he's not like GOP signed, right? For 2024?
I don't think, I don't know. I mean, if he's out there like campaigning.
I think he's campaigning for that signature to be, and I think
him and DeSantis, he's got to go through all that, like, the nominees and
for the Republican, for the GOP.
It's going to come down to him and DeSantis, probably.
Yeah. And I don't know if DeSantis has it in him. And he's kind of grimy too.
Yeah.
I've seen some griminess, but they all are. But I just feel like, let's give Trump another chance. Like, he was doing a pretty damn good job. Like, things were not terrible. And I feel like, honestly, the fucking virus might have got let out accidentally to fucking make him look bad, right?
Yeah,
like, just because he,
intentional.
It's all intentional, and it's sad that the people are, we're just fucking, I mean, to them, they can execute us and it's okay. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the word,
like
but it's fleeting.
Yeah. Assassinate.
We're expendable.
We're
expendable.
Yeah, we're pawns.
Yeah. You got an AI tag on here. We were talking about AI.
It was just the AI pictures of Trump getting arrested.
Yes, this is awesome.
Which is hilarious.
Okay.
But that was all.
Why is AI so good?
I know.
Like, how did they do this?
I don't know.
It's all the same cop.
Yeah, I noticed that the right two and the left two are this, like.
Aren't they all the same? I think they might be.
I don't know. I feel like that right one's fat, and the one on the very left, like.
Well, yeah, they're all like different versions, but like the same facial like structure. You know what I mean? They're using the same.
Yeah, a little chubbier
dude. Wait, did it just flash like a picture? Oh, it's my computer's being weird. Look at the cops like all with their hand on their waist. Oh man. I'm gonna have to make sure I don't forget to put these overlays on. Oh God.
Yeah, so of course all this shit was trending on, it was like Tuesday whenever he was supposed to be arrested.
Right.
And then simultaneously there was other stories happening that were much more important in the world.
Okay, like
and this was dominating the news. Such as Russia and China meeting up and making like, I think when I heard it on Redacted, it was, I don't have that clip, but it was like 13 agreements.
Whoa.
And a bunch, I have some kind of a little bit lengthier,
so should we go into that then?
I think,
maybe segue there.
Yeah. What
you've got key points, elimination, petrol $13 agreements, Russia, China, Ukraine.
Yeah. So that, what they agreed to was that they're not going to use our dollar to buy oil anymore. And that's the only thing, the petrodollar is the fact that every country in the world has to use United States currency to buy oil is the only reason that we're able to be the global currency.
So how are they going to buy oil anymore?
They're going to get it from Russia and China. China's going to be the supplier. Like they're making their own deals. It's the New World Order, quite literally. They're planning the New World Order. And in the video, Xi even says to Putin, I'm all high now. I'm like, yeah. It's in the video, but basically he's just telling them they're going to have change that they haven't seen in 100 years.
Yeah. So when fucking Trump was out there shaking hands and playing nice with these assholes, he was just trying to keep peace, keep America paid. Yeah. Like they were using our dollar. There was peace. We weren't fucking sending billions and trillions of dollars to Ukraine.
And that's what did it. I listened to Rich Dad Poor Dad podcast, and he's like, calls our money toilet paper. And he's like, basically, we've been trading toilet paper for goods and services and food and minerals and whatever. And that's not going to be flying much longer, because what's going to happen if they were talking about just these certain countries, like one or two of them joins this, then now it's like half of the world basically now is on a different system.
China's already massive.
Which wouldn't have happened if we didn't print all this fucking money for no fucking reason.
And send it to Ukraine.
Or even before that, just during COVID, before the Ukraine shit. This is all on top.
But here's what we're not fucking talking about is the Biden regime is who let all of this happen.
You know why? Because he's going to die on the sword. They already know.
Yeah.
There's no reviving this fucking puppet.
Well, but they're the ones that have been in bed with China. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, they're the ones that have been taking payments from China, millions and millions of dollars.
The World Economic Forum fucking is basically what this same ideology is. So he's into, that's why,
So they've already got Canada then, basically. They've already got Australia.
Justin Trudeau,
they've already got, if that's
Australia
what's
is like one of the worst. Canada and Australia were two of the worst. It was like China, Australia, and Canada all had the same fucking bullshit during COVID.
Yeah, so if they're already going to be partnering up, and I can see World War III happening.
Yeah, and instead of our people reporting on it on the news, they're reporting on Trump's potential arrest while the biggest meeting in the world is happening.
So we're going to talk about it. I think that's a good segue.
What I'm about to show you is arguably the big
13 minutes.
You can cut into it a little bit, or we can just watch like the beginning. But it's funny because it's like all the information. Maybe we cut. I don't know if you want to cut it out. But once you start listening, it's going to be hard to stop it.
All right.
Because you're just going to be,
all right. Should we try and speed up the...
Yeah, speed it up.
Well, I don't think people will like that. We'll just watch it. Fuck it. Let's see how interesting it is.
What I'm about to show you is arguably the biggest story in the world right now, in my opinion, but it's being totally ignored by the mainstream media. Of course it is. They don't want you to know about it because it will upend the global world order. I'm going to show you all of the new data and the info in a minute. But first, the U.S. just announced they're getting ready for war with China and Russia simultaneously, because we can't just do one without the other, right? See, this is what happens when people start to lose power. They get very dangerous, and the U.S. is quickly losing power. This week, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin announced their new 2024 military budget, which aims directly at China. And get this is unbelievable. It includes a 40% increase in spending to attack China. The Pentagon recently said China is, quote, the most comprehensive and serious challenge to the U.S. national security strategy. Here's Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin pushing for this new China war funding.
This is a strategy-driven budget and one driven by the seriousness of our strategic competition with the People's Republic of China. This budget will help us continue to implement our 2022 National Defense Strategy and the President's National Security Strategy.
So the U.S. national security is under attack because China is becoming an...
How about we don't implement anything else until 2024 or 5?
And that's what Trump was saying. Like, we don't need to be we don't need to be the police of the world.
Right.
And as soon as he was out, we were right back to policing the world.
For no reason.
Well, for reasons.
Well, control and power. Instead, like...
It's the deep government. It's the above the, you know, this isn't Biden's master plan.
No, this isn't.
He's just the fucking, a piece of the, he's not a pawn, but he's one of the other pieces. I'm not sure which one. The old dying horse. Is he like the knight? Is he one of the knights that fucking
the old knights?
The old knight that it's like his last ride up the mountain.
Yep.
They're gonna just take him right to the brink of the top, and he's just gonna gas out right there, shit himself, fall over.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're just, you know, keep going, or you eat them. Then I don't know.
Oh God.
An economic superpower. They want you to believe that your house and your backyard are going to have Chinese soldiers in it very soon. This is how they will scare you. Better watch out if you're grilling in your backyard barbecue because some Chinese soldiers are about to steal your hot dogs. They really want you to be scared. They're doing a good job of it.
In order to protect the American people, readiness now and readiness in the future through modernization is our number one priority, and there is no other number one. Right now, the international system is under stress. For the first time in our nation's history, the United States is facing two major nuclear powers whose vital national security interests are in competition with the United States.
They are hoping that you'll be scared, so you'll want to go to war to protect your hot dogs or your hamburgers. Even Governor Ron DeSantis is pushing this threat narrative, playing on the fear of a Chinese attack.
My view in terms of U.S. national security is that our number one threat by far is China and the CCP. They're strong militarily, they're strong economically, they've got the largest industrial base in human history, and they have ambitions.
So everyone is on board with this threat, and we need to spend billions more in this new budget to protect you. That's what they're telling you. They're calling it their Pacific Deterrence Initiative. That's the name of it. Deterrence. That's a good one. We're going to deter China and Russia by provoking them in their freaking backyards. The United States this week announced 4 new military bases will be built in the Philippines. The goal of these bases is for war with China. That brings the total number of U.S. military bases to 754 worldwide. Can you imagine? The United States has 754 military bases around the world. Just wrap your heads around that for a moment.
Damn.
But it's all just to deter them.
What's that game where there's the map and you have all your pieces?
Stratego.
Is that what it is?
Or I think so.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe not Stratego. War, is it?
It's called like Conquest, something like that.
You
like,
have all the continents, right?
Yeah, and you have so many pieces and you move over. So, yeah, it's the continents. God damn. Anyway.
Somebody's going to know.
The way I see it, it's like chess. You know, all the governments, in my opinion, there's people above that. Mm-hmm. And there's supposed to be like 38 people that run the world. So they're like, okay, now it's time we're going to start moving pieces around on the board. You know, It's been 100 years, and every 100 years, they switch shit up.
Time, yeah.
So now they're trying to switch the New World Order,
where
China. I used to have this different idea in my mind when I heard New World Order.
Right.
Until I saw that Ray Dalio's I think it is explanation about how it all works and how the orders of the world and how technology changes it and wars and we're in one of those times right now.
Well, it's just like these powers that be are powers that be because they think generationally. That, you know, they know that, you know, they're setting the foundation and the infrastructure for like their grandkids, you know, and they're passing down like legacies. They're like, this is your legacy.
Right.
And, you know, they're getting tomes with fucking details and information, and this is what you're gonna do, and this is how you're gonna follow it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like we're so stuck in like today and the now that
you're just living
fucking
what do they
penny
call
to
it?
penny.
Yeah, like hand to mouth,
right?
Whatever it is, but at best you're living check to check.
Yeah, at best these days.
And that's how they keep you in the system.
Yeah, because you can't all go under, right? You have to be able to still live comfortably.
Well, they need consumers because our whole system is based around consumers,
right?
Buying stuff that they don't need.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to at least trade your fucking time coins in for stuff you don't need.
For stuff you don't need.
To give it
and
back
that you're
going to
throw away. Right.
That you're going to throw away. Yeah. And you're not even going to get no recycling for it.
Right.
It's going to end up in a plastic ocean continent.
This is good.
I told you we're going to want to.
They think we're stupid. The Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Zhang warned earlier this month that if the U.S. doesn't change its course on its military buildup in the Asia Pacific and other policies aimed at China, it will lead to conflict and confrontation. So Washington has a death wish, and they're going to get us all killed if they don't want to back off. But they won't because of what I'm about to show you, and this is the most important part. So the United States just announced it's getting ready for a war with China and Putin at the same time for a very important reason. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin are about to completely alter the international power structure and the monetary system. This is why they're getting ready for war. No other reason. The biggest story in the world happened this week in Moscow, and your mainstream media ignored it. This week, Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin signed 14 different documents in their face-to-face meeting. The biggest had to do with trade and currency. It's perhaps the biggest story in the world right now, but again, the U.S. media was obsessed with something else.
He could be days away from becoming the first former president to be indicted.
Donald Trump is under multiple criminal inquiries.
If he's about to be arrested, it almost certainly means he's going to be indicted.
The media wants you distracted from the U.S. banking crisis and the decline of the U.S. dollar. Can you imagine? Probably the most important story in the world happened this week, and it almost got no attention.
That shit would have been all over the news when we were kids. That's all any of the fucking newspapers and anything would have been talking about. War looming, threat, China and Russia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, and what's
they
on?
do push that when it's not really happening,
right?
Like they were, like he was pointing out in the beginning of the video,
right? When it wasn't happening, but now.
But when it's actually
if your newscasts in your local
point it out,
yeah, exactly.
They're doing disinformation all the time.
It's
They're
all
not ever doing real information.
Yeah,
so
unless you're on Twitter.
When China's disinformation or misinformation, they report it. But when it's actually real shit, you don't hear. They report something else.
China and Russia, right? Oh my God.
Local markets covered this story, probably not. So let's give it some real attention right now and give you the most important highlights. Saudi Arabia and Iran, Sunni and Shiite Muslim, are sworn enemies. They hate each other. And yet China just brokered a peace deal between them. Yes, China did that.
No.
Not the United States and bumbling Joe Biden. China brokered a Saudi-Iran peace deal. Let that sink in. And then this week,
Trump was trying
Saudi
to do.
Arabia openly talking about settling their oil trades in the Chinese currency yuan.
Oh,
this would replace the US dollar. This, my friends, is the biggest story in the world. So let me repeat that. They would replace the petrodollar, the US dollar that we use as a hammer to sanction any country we like. If the US doesn't like you and wants to sanction you, they can, because if you want oil, you'll need to pay with the US dollar to settle that transaction in US dollars. So this is all about to change. It's not hyperbole to say that this will change everything. Imagine if the US can't threaten you with dollars anymore. All they have left are weapons, and there's nothing more dangerous than a person losing power. You're witnessing it in real time. But if you need more news from this week, Saudi Arabia and Iran and Mexico all getting ready to join the BRICS alliance. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And we already know, we've covered this on the show. Right after Mexico made this announcement, the U.S. started talking about invading Mexico with military forces to stop the drug cartels.
I'm going to introduce legislation, Jesse, to make certain Mexican drug cartels foreign terrorist organizations under U.S. law and set the stage to use military force if necessary to protect America from being poisoned by things coming out of Mexico.
They're at war with you. You need to be at war with them. I can't think of a better use of our military than
all the drugs
blow-up
are coming
labs
from China right
in Mexico.
now.
They think we're stupid.
Through Mexico.
Lindsey Graham,
Through
Senator Lindsey
well,
Graham
yeah.
doesn't give a rat's ass about drug cartels. They only care about Mexico joining BRICS. That's it. That's what this was about. And this week, Mexican President Obrador fired back, basically called Biden and Congress a bunch of idiots for provoking a war in Russia and talking about invading Mexico. So what does all of this mean? Well, it would mean that if all of the major oil-producing countries in the world become part of the same alliance, it would mean that half of the entire population of the globe would be on the same team, using a Chinese and Russian oil infrastructure that's tied to oil and gold, and no longer to the US dollar. This week, we saw a new record amount of gold being bought and stored by China. There are real concerns that we are running out of gold supplies right now around the world. It's becoming
they're probably
incredibly
buying it
difficult
from us.
to get gold. China and Russia are buying as
For
much of it
pennies
as
on the
they can
dollar.
find, and gold producers right now are scrambling to bring it out of the ground. Gold is nearing record highs this week, prices touching $2,000 a troy ounce. So all of this means we're spiraling into World War III. Over the past 48 hours,
about
the
all
U.S.
that
launched
anxiety.
airstrikes against Iran, but not in Iran. They attacked Iran in Syria because, of course, we're using Syria as a proxy. This is a response to Iran attacking American soldiers in Syria. Again, why the hell are Americans in Syria in the first place?
To make no mistake, the United States does not emphasize seek conflict with Iran, but be
Does not
prepared
emphasize.
for us to act forcefully.
It said he's supposed to emphasize.
Syria is ground zero
Does
for
not
what's about to
emphasize,
happen in
does
this
not.
new world order.
Fucking idiot.
But again, just pay attention to Trump getting arrested. That's what the deep state wants you to focus on. So that's the news update part of today's show, trying to get you caught up on all of the big geopolitical developments over the past 48 hours. Now I want to tell you about our sponsor for today's video, which is tied directly to this change.
Is that about it? Or is there more?
Probably. I mean, there's probably,
Oh, it's a gold sponsor.
Yeah. But some of those clips that he didn't show all of are our next clips.
Yeah,
so.
that's all he's talking about, the gold sponsor, the rest of the video. All right.
Yeah. He's all, what do you want me to say? Gold's at the highest.
Yeah. Right.
They're the best advertiser.
They're paying good fucking money right now.
Right.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah. See, that's what what's going on in the world right now is scary.
Well, it was kind of like what you were saying last cast about, it seems like World War III type shit, and obviously whatever's above all the world governments, it's intentional. It doesn't all happen by accident.
I just wonder if they're gonna let it get there. Obviously, we just figured out, we're expendable. So how fucking expendable are we? At what point is enough enough? Are they just gonna wipe us out?
To me, I don't feel like war happens like we envision it in a movie.
No,
anymore.
You know how war happens? Countries attack pipelines and trains and poison water supplies and fucking air and wait. And that's so okay, here we go.
Can you make it big?
Yes, I sure fucking can.
Уважаемый президент Путин, я всегда называю вас как моим дорогим другом.
我非常高兴能够应你之约再一次访问俄罗斯，并且是在我连任国家主席之后的首访国家。
Should we read this because it's in a different language?
Maybe. Can we? Well, can't speed these ones. Yeah, maybe just read it.
All right, so I'll turn it down and read it. Dear President Putin, I always called you my dear friend. I am very pleased at your invitation to visit Russia again on a state visit, especially right after my next re-election.
My next re-election.
Приятно по вашим решениям еще раз посетить Россию с государственным визитом.
Oh, they're translating.
Yeah. Just
got it.
Yeah.
As President of the People's Republic of China, and I choose Russia as the first country of my foreign visit, you have just remembered that exactly 10 years ago. The fuck is happening?
It's all broken. Lost in translation.
Dear President, I was going, my dear friend, especially right after my next re-election. As President of the People's Republic of China, I choose Russia, the first country of my foreign visit. You have just remembered that exactly 10 years ago, when I first became President of the People's Republic of China, I also chose Russia as the first country for my
So basically, they're just becoming buddies.
Yeah. You reminded me of this, and to this day, those pictures are well preserved in my heart. What they're doing is they're fucking swinging their dicks.
They're flexing.
Yeah, they're out there swinging their dicks around like, look, this is how obvious we are. Whoa. Fucking
look at you.
Inevitable U.S. diplomacy skills is bronze tier. Bronze tier may be too generous. I love you, Elon. Fuck.
So what's the next one?
Probably gonna make me more sad. This should not be happening. Just tell me this is all AI.
Right.
This is another one we're gonna have to translate.
Yeah.
Change is coming that hasn't happened in 100 years, and we are driving this change together.
And this is...
Please take care, dear friend. Have a
President of China
safe journey.
and fucking Vladimir Putin.
Probably the two most destructive men in our current time. Destructive. These guys are running. They're so scared.
No, I feel like that's the security detail, like getting ahead.
Got it. Oh, yeah. Okay. Or I was like, those are the news reporters. Like, we got
with those two dudes right there, I can only imagine how many guys are out there off camera.
Yeah, no shit.
You know?
Not just those guys running, that's for sure.
No, yeah. Those were the low, like, that was, you know, that's just the tip of the spear, I think.
The U.S. will have to send...
Have you seen this clip?
I think actually, yeah. Now he's dressing all nice.
And their sons and daughters exactly the same way as we are sending their sons and daughters to war, and they will have to fight because it's nature that we're talking about, and they will be dying, God forbid, because it's a horrible thing.
Yeah, because he's talking about the fact that we're done fighting your guys' war.
Right.
This is enough.
Which, yeah, and he's probably just trying to save his own ass. For, you know, on their end.
Oh, boy. All right. So we skipped the January 6th files. So let's hit that. And then we got, what do you have on Taibi? Oh, yeah. I already know what this is. Let's do that.
We found just yesterday.
Fuck, I love this guy, too. Love you, Matt.
Just quickly, we found just yesterday a tweet from the Virality Project at Stanford, which was partnered with a number of government agencies and Twitter, where they talked explicitly about censoring stories of true vaccine side effects and other true stories that they felt encouraged hesitancy. Now,
censoring true.
Yeah, so they used the word true 3 times. In this email, and what's notable about this is that it reflects the fundamental misunderstanding of this whole disinformation complex, anti-disinformation complex. They believe that ordinary people can't handle difficult truths, and so they think that they need minders to separate out things that are controversial or difficult for them. And that's totally contrary to what America's all about, I think.
Is that really what's happening, though? I don't think they don't think we can handle it. I think they just don't want us to have the truth because they want us to believe their narrative.
Right.
They want us to constantly be under the fear of their narrative, not of what is actually fucking happening. One more for Matt.
Yes, and I refer to that person.
Yeah, this is the one.
Yes, and I refer to that person as a source.
So you're not going to tell us when Musk first approached you?
Again, Congressman, you're asking me to you're asking a journalist to reveal a source.
So then you consider Mr. Musk to be the direct source of all this?
No, now you're trying to get me to say that he is the source. I just can't answer your question.
Well, it either is or he isn't. If you're telling me you can't answer because it's your source, well, then the only logical conclusion is that he is, in fact, your source.
Well, you're free to conclude that.
Well, sir, I just don't understand. You can't have it both ways, but let's move on because
no, he can. He's a journalist.
No, he can't because either Musk is the source and he can't talk about it, or Musk is not the source
And if Musk is not the source, then he can discuss
No one
his
has yielded. The gentlelady's out of order. You don't get
and
to
she's
speak.
out of order because
not
he's
recognized. The
interrupted.
gentlelady's not
Chairman,
recognized.
you're not recognized.
He has not said that. What he has said is he's not going to reveal his source, and the fact that Democrats are pressuring him to do so is such a violation.
We're asking him about his conversations with
The
Musk.
gentlelady has not yielded you time. You don't get
I have
to
not
just talk
yielded
over
time
her.
to anybody. I want to reclaim my time, and I would ask the chairman to give me back some of the time because of the interruption. Mr. Chairman, I am asking you if you will give me the seconds that I lost.
We will give you that 10 seconds.
Thank you.
I just want to watch everything he does.
Yeah.
I'm not his source, but yeah, obviously asking journalists to reveal sources is not cool.
I love how Elon's like at the bottom of all the like the first comment on.
He's always
you know.
top tiered, yeah.
No, it's like no wonder they fucking shit on him all day.
Do you think that that's by design? Right?
Yeah.
Like
they complained about it that he was basically changed it to where he's seen more.
Good.
You know?
Fucking good.
He owns the motherfucker. I mean,
this is his playground.
When I see an owner of a bar, you know, they usually do whatever the fuck they want inside the bar.
Yeah, exactly, right? I wonder how many Twitter users there are now. Let's see how many followers Elon has now. 132 million followers. That tells you how many users there are, probably.
That's crazy.
That's the most. That's
Yeah.
got to be the most.
Yeah.
Out of anything.
Yeah.
Fuck.
He's probably the most followed man in the world.
In the universe. Wait, let's see how many followers Mr. Beast has. 19 million. Okay, so if Mr. Beast only has 19 million and fucking Elon has 132 million, that's a definite win.
And I'm telling you, like, because Twitter's bigger in every other country than here.
Right.
It's like Facebook is for us everywhere else.
Everybody needs to get on your Twitter game. Just sign up for a Twitter account, follow something to talk about, and then all your algorithms will fall right into place.
Yep. We're training it. If you're following us, it'll know what to show you.
Oh, NASA has 71 million followers for a fake company.
Yeah, it's probably inflated.
Yeah, a hell of fucking bots. And I'm sure Elon has 0 bots.
Right. I mean, I guess if you're the boss, you could just put whatever number you want.
9999999. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We got to talk about this fucking January 6th shit because I feel very fucking. I even feel bad. Did we talk about this on air yet? That how I feel bad? I think we did, right? I think we were on air.
Maybe we were in the beginning.
So let's recap. I feel terrible because I was even starting to believe that maybe it got like as out of control as we made it to believe, or we were made to believe, and like I was starting to be like, well, shit, man, you can't. That's not how we should fucking riot. Like, let's be peaceful. So, which one do you want to start with? The first top, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Is this the walkthrough video? Oh, this is Tucker. This will be good. Another 9 minutes, though.
We could probably cut into it just to show the footage. The gist is, as everyone knows, we've only been showed the footage of the violent side, and there was a non-violent side, and even people cleaning up.
Yeah.
And then there was Trump supporters stopping people from breaking in, or trying to.
Oh, I just skipped too far. I glitched it.
Fucked up now.
Tucker Carlson. Virtually no one in Washington, Republican or Democrat, wanted to see this tape released tonight.
And then Schumer went out on TV and kind of talked shit against him.
Again and again is not what happened on Election Day 2020.
I hate that I can't
The
look.
real crime
There we go.
is what happened 2 months later on January 6th when Donald Trump led an insurrection around the cap media outlet in America went on Shaman. Watch.
So here's the
These
first
are the
version.
pictures you've seen of January 6th. They're familiar because they've been playing on a loop on every media outlet in America for the last 2 years. There's a reason for that.
I almost wonder too if like, because now that I'm just listening to it all with new ears and watching it, I'm like, I can hear like the audio enhanced, like extra people and like noise.
Nobody died. No cops died. Turns out.
No, I thought a chick died, was killed by a cop.
Yeah, that's the person that died. But no, please, that.
But they never revealed that, right?
You just reveal about all these 4 officers, and then finally it was just one. And then I remember they tried to say one of them died by getting hit in the head. And I'm like,
so no cops died.
Turns out that one of them died like a day or 2 after that was supposedly not related to anything here. It was like a stroke or something. I don't know if he mentions it here. But
okay. He might have, but we probably skipped
it's out
over
there.
it.
It's not. I didn't make it up.
Yeah, do your own research, fuckers.
Yeah. I know you got a fucking phone in your pocket.
But it turns out there's quite a bit of video you haven't seen. And that video tells a very different story about what happened on January 6th.
Hey, this doesn't belong here.
40,000 hours of surveillance footage from in and around the Capitol have been withheld from the public. And once you see the video, you'll understand why. Taken as a whole, the video record does not support the claim that January 6th was an insurrection. In fact, it demolishes that claim.
Look how chill everyone's being.
The Democratic Party and its allies in the media prevented you from seeing it. By controlling the images you were allowed to view from January 6th, they controlled how the public understood that day.
You'll see fools in all black.
They could lie about what happened, and you would never know the difference. Those lies had a purpose. They created a pretext for a federal crackdown on opponents of the Uniparty in Washington.
Our office wanted to ensure that there was shock and awe, that we could charge as many people as possible.
The first thing you notice from viewing the full video record of January 6th is just how many people entered the Capitol building that day. Hundreds and hundreds of people, possibly thousands, over the course of about 2 hours. The crowd was enormous. A small percentage of them were hooligans. They committed vandalism. You've seen their pictures again and again.
And they deserve to be in
jail.
jail.
The overwhelming majority weren't. They were peaceful. They were orderly and meek.
And these guys don't.
These were not insurrectionists. They were sightseers. Footage from inside the Capitol overturns the story you've heard about January 6th. Protesters queue up in neat little lines. They give each other tours outside the Speaker's office. They take cheerful selfies and they smile. They're not destroying the Capitol. They obviously revere the Capitol. They're there because they believe the election was stolen from them. They believe in the system.
Which it was.
Here's the man you've heard referred to as the QAnon shaman outside the Senate chamber. These are not rioters. These are people who wandered over from a political rally.
We will not let them silence your voices.
After the rally, they walked down Pennsylvania Avenue, where organizers had secured a federal permit to hold a legal rally on the grounds of the Capitol.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Once at the Capitol building, things
peacefully
began
and
to get
patriotically.
Capitol police officers
I don't hear any
fired tear gas
inciting
into the crowd.
words.
A few at the front of the herd broke windows. Someone opened the doors, and many hundreds of others just walked in.
They're going to make that the story.
Of course, they did make it the story. And at the center of it, the single most famous person arrested that day was a Navy veteran from Arizona called Jacob Chansley, often referred to as the QAnon shaman.
He is walking around with a spear. That's scary.
QAnon shaman. Someone named
guess
Q
he's
Shaman.
Jacob Chansley became
Seems
the
like
face
it.
of January 6th, a dangerous conspiracy theorist dressed in outlandish costume who led the violent insurrection to overthrow American democracy. For these crimes, Chansley was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison, far more time than many violent criminals now receive.
I've been telling everybody it was like 20.
What did Jacob Chansley do to receive this punishment?
Corrected.
To this day,
Sorry,
there's
guys.
dispute over how Chansley got into the Capitol building. But according to our review of the internal surveillance video, it is very clear what happened once he got inside.
Just walking
Virtually
with them.
every moment of his time inside the Capitol was caught on tape. The tapes show that Capitol Police never stopped Jacob Chansley. They helped him.
I mean, is it
they
a
acted
tour?
as his tour guides.
Or is,
Here's
are they
video of
like
Chansley
just
in the Senate chamber.
trying to escort him
Capitol
out?
Police officers take him to multiple entrances.
They tried to open
and even
that
try
door.
To
They're
open
trying to
locked
show him
doors for
things,
him.
right?
I don't know
We
if they were
counted at
like,
least
oh, let's let
9
him out. Oh, we
officers
can't
who
open
were
the door.
within
I don't know.
touching distance of unarmed Jacob Chansley.
It just seems like if it was
Not
a
one
thing,
of
you'd
them
drag him
even
out.
tried to slow him down.
I worked at a bar.
Chansley understood that Capitol Police were his allies. Video shows him giving thanks for them in a prayer on the floor of the Senate. Watch.
Yeah, they're like there together.
Pay the inspiration needed to these
police officers to allow us into the building.
Contrast the reality of what Jacob Chansley did in the Capitol building on January 6th, the indisputable facts recorded on video, some of which has never before been seen, with the depiction of Jacob Chansley that you've seen in the media for more than 2 years. He's a terrorist, they said. He should be killed.
Shoot him. Shoot him. Like, you burst into the United States, hey, if he was dressed like bin Laden, would you have shot him?
Shoot him. Shoot him. It makes you wonder, who are the violent extremists here? Not Jacob Chansley, and the video proves that. But you would never have known from the media coverage.
The people sitting in the chairs need to be sitting in a jail cell.
Chansley is in a jail cell. He's been there for months. If he wasn't...
Well, I think, didn't Trump say he's going to pay for his appeal or something like that?
I don't know. I didn't hear that.
I saw, or Elon, I think Elon said he was going to pay for his appeal.
That sounds like some Elon type shit.
Yeah, fucking Bruce Wayne, man. I tell you what. Like, and that's what this world needs right now. So, you know, fuck it.
Yeah.
I hope he's out there in a
I hope it's legit.
Yeah. Well, you know, legit enough.
For now. Yeah, it's legit enough.
Legit enough. Oh, yeah. The Antifa video.
Yeah, so I think this is like from the top of the Capitol building right there. And you can see everyone is basically dressed a little differently.
Yes.
Here's what you got.
These are the ones that broke in.
Yeah, so they're all in the front.
And the ones that probably broke the windows to let people in probably didn't actually go in. They probably left and let everybody else in.
They just started. Watch, you're going to see some guy run up on them. Almost looks like Epps. And see how no one's joining them?
Yeah.
Because those are all actual Trump people right there. Why are just these two dudes
Are these
going
guys
to town?
holding them back or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, look. Oh, yeah.
Look. See,
these guys are military.
Yeah, both sides. So there's
they got like
4,
half a
5.
dozen.
See, there's one there.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there's quite a bit. Maybe a dozen.
Yeah.
Holding them all back.
Yep. They're basically got a secure like perimeter right there.
There are probably people yelling at him.
See, look, he got up through everyone. Watch, go back a little bit. Watch over here. This dude's gonna push up.
This
through
guy
everybody.
right here.
Oh, he's already there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that dude.
Right here. That guy?
Yeah. He like bum rushes
A couple
up
of
there.
them. A couple new people did. That guy did.
Yeah, look, they got up in there.
And is he trying to stop him?
I think so.
Yeah, he's like, come on. Yeah. Trying to talk down the situation.
Yeah.
Like a true patriot.
Yep. He didn't run up there and start squabbing, but obviously he's serious because no one's swinging on him or anything crazy either. And those could be
And
fun.
look. They just called it off right there.
See, the crowd knows.
Yeah. Now he's trying to play it like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to play it normal. No, you fucking got caught.
Because now I'm stuck in, and everyone knows.
Right. Now you got 1,000 people.
You should just
look
be
at
pulled
this
apart.
fucking crowd in DC too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a place where it's full of Democrats, but that's a lot of fucking Trumpers.
Yep.
No shit.
I think there's a similar angle or something might be the next one.
I wanted to go back to this one real quick just to because I wanted to see when they broke through the door.
Again and again.
You can be quiet, but I wanted to see. Oh, that's gonna never mind. That's gonna lock up on me. I wanted to see if when whoever broke the door and the window from one side, you know, and they showed the inside view of it. I wonder if they went back out.
Well, and I wonder if there was like different because one of them was like windows and shit on one of the clips.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah, they broke like it looked like they tried to get they got the front door. They broke the side windows and kicked the front door open. But I'm wondering if those guys that did that. Oh, let's just look at it because now I'm so curious. I need to probably just let it play while I skip ahead.
Tell you again and again is not what happened on. From the evidence we have, the publicly, we're happy to say their reservations were minor. These
See,
are
that's
the
like off to the
pictures
side.
you've seen of January's outlet in America.
It's almost like they just filmed that. Like,
Once you see the record, and that's exactly what
care
happened.
break some windows
For
in.
a federal crackdown on opponents of the
that there were many people's
full video record.
See, they're coming to the-
6th, the full.
I don't think that's the main door
The first
because
thing
it
you
says
notice
exit. You
reviewing
know.
the full
Yeah.
video record of
Well,
January 6th
entrances have
is just
exit
how many
signs.
people
You know what I
entered
mean?
Yeah, it just doesn't look like the
They committed vandalism.
because that big
Some
round
of the
room is
pictures
like the
enormous.
I think the main entrance room.
No, the main round room is the like Capitol room itself, where they all like do their voting and shit.
Well, this room is what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay, I see.
What happened on January? Difference. What happened January 6th? 4 hours of surveillance have been withheld from the public. Taken as a whole,
It's so interesting, just like how different it is compared to what they told us it was.
And this has happened a long time
Here,
ago.
okay, right here.
Of the herd broke window front of the into the crowd. A few at the front of the herd broke windows.
So they're spraying.
Oh, they're spraying them. But look,
Yeah, and
look, you see them?
Yep.
They didn't end up in the front, and they were totally fucking military, or tactical.
Working together for sure.
Patriotically make
Capitol police officers. Someone opened
Boom.
the
Bam.
tear
Oh, jeez.
Double kick
gas
simultaneous.
into the
Yeah.
crowd. A few at the front of the herd broke windows.
They knew that they were
Someone
gonna get-
opened the doors, and many
And
hundreds
then
of others just
bounced.
walked in. Of course.
And then Alex Jones was going around telling people, "Don't fucking break in." Like basically, fucking, they're gonna fucking flip this shit.
Yes.
And he had his little InfoWars fucking like Hummer or whatever it was.
Really?
He was inside of it. Yeah, he tells a story like on a podcast. I don't know if he was on Rogan or one of them about being out there and how crazy it was.
Trump supporter.
He's like down in the crowd.
Yeah. We don't vandalize shit.
Yeah, they took their weapons.
And they're trying to justify doing it.
Yeah, look.
But look, they all got the helmets on. They all
Yep.
got like, that's fucking gear,
Yep.
you know?
Yep. Look,
So
they got red hats under, so they're showed them changing in the bushes into like red and blue, like
Right.
you know. And they're like, "Hey, delete that!" Like,
Did we have that link?
I don't think I have that one.
We
but
need that.
Yeah, it's a quick one. It's
Because
like
we
when
need
you come across on Twitter.
that could be one of our ongoing things. We need to build this Antifa case against this whole, because like nobody's really spinning, they're like,
And I only call them Antifa because I don't know what else to call
that's the
them.
best thing to call it.
You
I
know?
think people know they're the anti, they're pretending to be Trumpers, but they're not.
Yeah, they're
Obviously.
organized. They're they were a big part of all the BLM damage that went on.
Fuck.
Which I watched like live on TikTok, half the
Right.
time, like-
But that was
or,
okay.
Twitter.
That was encouraged.
Yeah,
Right.
that was mostly peaceful. So was that.
Shit. BLM was not mostly peaceful. There's businesses that did not get to reopen because they were just utterly
Right.
destroyed.
Yeah, the damages were crazy.
Oh, Tucker and this dude?
Yeah.
Full cooperation from Capitol Police and from the Speaker's office. But what we couldn't do, which is the main thing I wanted to do, which was show that there were FBI agents in the crowd. And there were, and the FBI's admitted that.
Oh, he couldn't. Got it.
But it's obvious to me they played a pivotal role. Ray Epps clearly was working for somebody. He was not.
We'll
a
just keep
pure
saying
civilian.
Antifa.
Yeah.
He encouraged
Let's
violence.
not use
and
those
then the
other
January
words.
6th committee and Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney and Benny Thompson and Adam Schiff, they all defended him. He's their friend. What? He's not an insurrectionist. He's an ally. Like, explain that.
Right.
It violates common sense, okay?
Right.
But we couldn't answer a lot of these questions because we couldn't identify the people positively. And because we couldn't put their video on the screen because what if we're wrong? I mean, I tried to be as responsible as we could be. Like, there were a lot of things going on there, as you know, that were clearly part of something that was not organic.
I'm so glad that I caught it all before he started talking about it.
Exactly.
Very obvious. Guys with earpieces, breaking things, and then running away when they're filmed. Like, what is that? And some of these people are so obviously cops. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Some like bodybuilder type with short hair and a MAGA hat.
How'd you know?
Oh, spare me. A guy with a gun. You know, this was, you know, I know what's going on here. A lot of this was clearly influenced by federal agents or informants. It was, okay? But I didn't want to suggest that someone was a federal agent or informant unless I knew for a fact, because you really could get someone in trouble, right? If you're like, this is the guy, and like, but we don't know.
Right.
I do know for,
I'm good right now.
It's very clear that something
I got a
very
tickle in my
strange is going
throat.
on with Ray Epps. We've named him repeatedly. We've invited him on the show repeatedly. I mean, don't lie to my face. Like, the Ray Epps thing is
right.
You know, isn't organic. Sorry.
Well, and we know from the Proud Boys trial this week that an FBI agent was caught lying on the stand in front of a judge, right? Turns out that the FBI hid evidence from defense attorneys. I mean, this came out in trial. This is not just us, you know, bullshitting here. And that according to the defense attorneys, unless they're lying in this, and it's possible, there was initially thought maybe there were criminal informants there that wanted this information scrubbed, removed from the records. We now know that it actually might have been an agent who wanted this information scrubbed from the records. And of course, we're wondering, oh my gosh, in these 41 hours that Tucker's going to have here, will we be able to see any more evidence of the Fed's involvement? So it appears without that facial recognition. What's the next step then? If we don't have that,
surprise Tucker did.
What will happen with this footage? Will anyone else be able to kind of go through it with facial recognition? Will Congress be able to do it?
What you need is crowdsourcing here. I mean, you need this to be in as many hands as possible. McCarthy has said, and I don't have ownership of this footage. It's publicly owned, of course. It's not owned by the Congress. They don't own anything. This is like, it's insane actually how they treat the U.S. government like they own it. I mean, that's like your housekeeper pretending she owns your bank account. Like, these are our servants, okay? But they get these attitudes, and it's hard to disabuse them of them. But he has said, you know, we're going to turn this over to the public, and that can't come soon enough, as far as I'm concerned. We're a primetime TV show. We're not, you know, in the fabled news division. We're an opinion show, so, you know, we've kind of reached the limits, and it was only our show. Like, there was no other element of the company I work for, and there was no other news organization helping in any way. So I'm not whining, but we've
Fox
kind of
is just waiting for his contract to expire.
Perspective, like, the core claims about January 6th were a lie. It was not a violent insurrection, a deadly insurrection. It was a violent political demonstration, one of many in the year in which it took place. From January of 2020 to January of 2021, there were a lot of violent political demonstrations, including one at the White House where cops were injured, then at January 6th. Though if we could kind of leave it there and stop lying about it, I'm not defending vandalism or hooliganism or violence at January 6th. Of course not. I abhor that. Just don't tell me it's the same as 9/11. If you start talking like that, if you start lying to me, I'm going to push back. Clearly, Nancy Pelosi wanted this to happen. There was a lot of intel that it was going to happen. That intelligence was kept from line officers at the Capitol Police. I know that because I've talked to them, and including some of their supervisors, and they all say the same thing. We were not given this intelligence. Well, why is that? They were the front line in this. Why would you keep it from them? And of course, the answer is you would only do that if you wanted it to be ugly and discrediting for the political party associated with it. And that's obvious. That's obviously what happened.
Oh, Tuck.
Yeah.
Tucker for president.
He's gonna have his own show. He's gonna have his own show, and he'll be making way more than he is right now.
Yeah, gajillions. Yeah. Well, fucking A.
It kind of reminds me of in the old days, Glenn Beck used to be kind of like popular and on Fox, and then eventually he got too extremely into the truth.
Oh, Glenn Beck was a Fox guy?
Yeah.
I didn't know
And he
that.
had like a show.
Okay.
And then he had like this whiteboard that he'd always have behind him, and he'd start like going off and writing words and stuff, you know. And it was actually really good. And then it was like he was getting too into the details of things. And that's not what
Can't
major
do that.
news wants you to do.
Yeah, you're allowed to do the highlights.
And he has his own show now.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
And he probably makes fucking good money.
Is he's on just on YouTube now, right? Like,
I think so. I mean, I'm sure he has a website because of
Right.
censorship and stuff.
but he's not on Fox or anything
No,
like
no,
that.
yeah, he's off of all the
3-letter
Yeah.
networks. All right.
Can we take a pee break?
Absolutely.
Oh, thanks.
That too. I didn't go on one of those like, fuck, what was I just saying?
Not as many times. Maybe right after we smoked, it
Oh,
was
yeah.
I was a little bit like, woo, all right, this is the same as being drunk.
Yeah, when you're too high, like,
Yeah.
and trying to be coherent.
Yeah. We should try to smoke at least some of this other weed.
Oh yeah,
Even
totally.
if we don't want to live test it.
We could test it. It's all set up now. It should be easy.
Little grinder. Perfect. But yeah, this was the cereal milk.
Turn on without. Yeah.
I'm trying to cross thread your fucking expensive grinder.
Oh yeah, the ceramic part.
Yeah.
I think
Or
it would
the plastic in. Right.
That's ceramic.
Oh, this is
that's
ceramic?
glass.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I'm so glad I haven't dropped it.
Yeah.
I thought it was plastic.
I
This
thought
whole
you
time.
knew it was the ceramic
No.
part.
Well, maybe I was thinking some other shit when you told me. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. That's why when we say it's a $1,500 grinder, I'm like, still be careful.
I'm gonna coddle it.
You thought it was plastic. Maybe I
Yeah.
shouldn't have
Yeah,
told
now.
you.
Fuck.
Now there's like too much pressure.
There's all these things that could break on right here.
Before it was like not a big deal.
Right?
Didn't think too much about it.
All right, there's that.
It's like, you when you're a kid and you're like trying not to run into the bush and you need to go that way, but you don't stop looking at the bush.
Yep.
So then all of a sudden.
Have you seen that clip, or maybe we've talked about it, where they say that's what they teach skiers?
Yeah.
Like not to look at the trees.
Yeah, you have to look where you want to go.
Yeah.
That's like any kind of like racing.
What's that, Seth? God damn, what's his name?
Ooh.
He has some couple good books out.
Ooh. That's better broken up. That's for damn
Yeah, no,
sure.
it's also really good. When people are like, which one, do you like this kind or this kind? I'm like, sometimes I can't say.
I
Like,
hate that question. Well, yeah, that's true. Sometimes there's
like a clear winner.
Mm-hmm.
When I first tried the jungle cake, I was like, damn, it was just like the high. And of course it had a really good smell, kind of like how you were like, it smells really good. It just has that
right away.
kind of like fruity smell. I don't know. It kind of reminded me of like, if the weed like that smelled like that in high school, like you were stoked.
Yeah.
Fuck,
I never got. Well, that's not true. We got some pretty good weed in high school, but a lot of times we were like, "Where's that $50 stress BZ?"
Well, and two, it was like, we just smoked so much low quality at first that it's like your tolerance like creeps up there.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't get you high anymore.
You don't get that. Like nowadays, I can only imagine when people first start. It's probably like an edible experience,
29%.
29. Okay, well,
Not bad. Not bad. Not over 30 though.
not over 30. And that explains it.
That's why it's so
Just
much
a
better.
little bit less,
It's got a good burn smell too.
Yeah, it's.
You know what I really miss is, you remember that, maybe this has it before I say it, because it reminded me of it. Almost. You remember that taste that weed used to have when it was grown in like dirt? It just had like
like that earth taste.
an earthy taste,
Yeah.
but it's just so good. And like it just enhanced for me, it enhanced every flavor. And then like cocoa came around and everything was bigger and you thought better, but you lost that little like essence, I feel like.
Yeah, well, it's like all the growers I've ever met would grow differently for them own personal selves than maybe how they might grow just for profit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And don't you think every corporation in the world might do that?
Yeah.
Come on. That's why we got mediocre fucking products. Did you know, I just learned, did you know that forever 24-ounce beers were actually only 22 ounces?
What?
And I guess
Did it say 24 ounces?
Yes, and they had to stop putting 24s on them.
No shit.
Or no, it didn't. They didn't have to have it back then, and they were supposed to be 24s. So like when you bought it, it was like 2 ounces. It was like skinny.
24s.
Yeah, they were calling them 24s, and because when you're making 100,000 or 1 million units or whatever,
right?
Like, yeah, 1 ounce, 2 ounce.
Yeah, right.
Major profit.
Yeah,
difference.
Well, that's why sometimes there's 0.8 carts instead of 1 gram carts.
I know those fucking 0.8ers.
Fuck.
People are like, damn.
It's gone in a day. You're like, I should have just bought a half gram.
Right? Yeah, half gram with some real shit in it.
Yeah. Slider.
I brought one.
It's not empty yet, I don't think, but it's the Flint. It's a cheap Flint. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I boring you today, Chad?
What were we saying? I'm going to take a nap.
Yep, nap time. Actually, we're pretty close to wrapping up.
Start smoking purple weed and you start yawning.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
That one brought me down right away, too. The other one brought me up right away, and that one, like, automatically was like, whoosh.
Yeah. We're going to have to smoke some of the other one to get back.
Right. I think it was too. Yeah, we got to like find the perfect medium.
He wasn't looking. I love this wood ashtray though because it can be a tapper. It's not so dangerous.
Perfect. Well, that was good weed testing.
Oh, there's some in the pellet thing.
Yeah, there is.
I don't want to.
That's okay. You can forget about it in the pellet thing.
Yeah, you're like, I'll keep that.
Just move that.
It wasn't that bad.
What pellet thing?
Sounds good.
That'll come in handy later.
Hey, it'll be real nice then. Just some different weeds, always fucking nice. When it's decent.
Okay.
What do we got?
The last thing we talked about was the Tucker files. Oh yeah, you have on here the Nord Stream 2 pipeline.
So the reason I had that on there was just, and I think it's kind of long, so it'd probably be. It's basically an explanation of just what it means, like what that move means. We blew it up. They're trying to cover it up.
Russia's article on the United States
only 2 minutes.
bombing Nord Stream pipeline. If it is proven that the United States bombed the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, as has been asserted by Seymour Hersh and his article, will you call for the United States to acknowledge and admit that that was an act of war against Germany and Russia? And I'm asking this because this may be the only way to prevent the rest of us from being killed in a thermonuclear war. And I don't want to be fried. Don't you think the media should be reporting on whether or not this is true? And don't you think you should be inquiring into whether or not this is true?
So here's what I'll say about, I think, President Biden's leadership generally as it relates to the Ukraine and Russia.
Okay, what is the backstory on this? Biden basic. Okay, so it's a Biden event. That's Biden, or
just let it roll.
All right. Oh, okay. They're gonna edit it.
That's a video of the pipeline.
Okay.
Read that.
Seismologists reported underwater blasts before the leaks bubbled to the surface of the Baltic Sea above the Nord Stream pipeline, which runs from Russia to Germany.
And when investigators went down to the seabed and found traces of explosives, it was clear.
Obviously, those things don't just break.
Accident.
NATO this morning calling those mysterious leaks in the Nord Stream pipelines sabotage.
Mysterious leaks.
not saying it's impossible. I don't
Look
think
at
it's
this
a
fucker.
conspiracy theory. I absolutely understand why people think it might be the U.S. I think it might be the U.S. I have listened to what our officials have
Mouthpiece.
said that would give every indication that could be. And yes, we have sounded happy to capitalize on this setback for the Russia to Germany energy project. That said, I think it would be nuts if we blew up their pipeline, our ally, Germany.
Didn't he just say he thought it
An
was?
act of sabotage.
The United
So it
States
might
was
be.
never happy. It had always detested the idea of Europe becoming hostage to Russian energy. But blowing up the Nord Stream was out of question, at least publicly. It would be an act of war against Russia.
On the other hand, it's almost inconceivable to think that the US would do it, would do something like this, because in a sense it's almost like an act of war, whoever did it.
Meanwhile, former Polish defense minister Radek Sikorski even said a thank you to the US on Twitter with a picture of the glass leak.
Like, huh?
The fuck? Trolling?
I get.
They see me trolling. Oh my god! Whoever did it.
There will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
How will you do that?
Is this AI?
No.
Since the project and control of the project is within Germany's control.
We will. I promise you, we'll be able to do it.
There it is.
That was real?
Yeah, that's real.
real?
We've actually played that, I think, before.
Fuck, I don't remember that. Must have been super.
And if we
dark.
didn't, I fucking failed. But yeah.
Fuck.
That's not a new clip, but it's been added on to the.
We haven't really talked much about the Nord Stream pipeline on the show yet, so that's kind of new to me.
Yeah, maybe we didn't have it as a category. I'm sure I rambled something about it at some point.
Let's make that a category then for the next episode.
But that is the beginning,
Fuck, that's why shit's going on. Of course, Russia and China are going to be colluding because we fucking blew up the
we just
pipeline.
sabotaged their fucking oil.
What money they were
pipes,
making,
yeah.
but they were still using our petrol dollars.
So the dollar, yes. So, all right, do you think it's a coincidence that we printed all the money and devalued it and then fucking start a war that now is bringing down the American dollar?
Right. How are we going to fund it?
The people above all the governments are like, yeah, this is how we make, this is how you would normally see a country fall. So
this is what's happening. This is the fall of the United States of America. I don't even know if Trump could do it.
No, probably not. He can just inconvenience them temporarily.
Yeah.
Because when we get into the Stephen Greer shit, you'll see some of where it's like presidents aren't involved. Like
that's where we're at right now too. Oh, Jake Paul, Floyd Mayweather.
Did you see Jake Paul? I know you don't follow like the shit. So they saw each other out and about, and the crew's like there was supposed to be like 50 dudes with Floyd, and they saw Jake, and he was still mad at him from whenever he like took his hat. Did you see that part? Part of the fight promotion probably, but. Maybe not. It might have just been on Jake's end for promoting and not realizing you're fucking with the.
I watch real fights. I don't watch fucking scripted shit.
I would agree. I mean, he did lose, but I guess maybe that was a plan,
Should I watch the Twitter ones maybe? Are those going to be short?
They're all short.
They're all short. All right, we'll start at the top. That's 4 minutes.
Okay, well, you don't have to watch this one. Well, this is him. Just fast forward to like the middle. Okay, so he went all backstage. He took his hat and ran off, and Floyd's mad as shit. And his thugs like beat fucking Jake up a little bit.
Floyd Mayweather, he's the one that walks around with like the bag full of money all the time, right?
Yeah, Money Mayweather.
Yeah.
So he's an undefeated record in boxing, like 50-0 or something.
And
so
what,
he's legit.
Fucking Jake Paul's gonna come and beat him or something.
I bet they do eventually because his brother fought him, who's like my size damn near, and Floyd's like probably smaller than you. So they see Jake on the
Jake
street.
Paul's like a big. That's Floyd.
That's Floyd.
Oh yeah, he's
Jake's
not
smaller. His brother's bigger.
Floyd Mayweather.
In case you didn't know.
Yeah.
Hell, man.
Jake Paul.
So you can see there's a couple like officers or security officers of some kind. So he literally took off running. They start chasing him. Never run.
Yeah, because then they chase you, right? Like that's what they will really chase you.
You
If
ever
you
see-
stand there.
You're better off not running. Not safe.
Is that what we're gonna say? But have I ever seen?
No, like a dog, you know.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So you don't want to run from a dog, you know. But
gonna keep going.
so there'll be another
The
angle.
Miami Heat game, and Floyd Mayweather and 50 dudes pull up out of nowhere, out of like some side alley, waiting for me outside of this stadium, and they're like, "So what's up? So what's all that talk now?" I'm like, first of all, what did I say to you, Floyd? I just took your hat, and you're still mad about it? Come on, bro. And then 50 dudes literally start surrounding me to try and jump me. I'm out that bitch, okay? Floyd, you want to run it one-on-one? No problem, but I'm not dumb, okay? I'm tough. I don't need to prove my toughness, but I'm not fucking dumb. I'm not going to sit there and try to fight 50 dudes. Dipped out of that bitch. Floyd, you're a hoe, bro. You're mad because I took your fucking hat. Are you serious? Get over it, bro. Move on. Move on.
What's up, Jake? What's all that shit you were talking online?
You want to run the fade?
Yeah, right here, right now.
Let's fucking run the fade.
Let's run that fade right now, right now. Let's run that right now. Hey, yo, what's up with all that tough stuff now?
I don't know what.
That's right, there's 50 of us.
He's reenacting it.
What's up? You want the fade?
Just.
Oh, Jake.
So I think you get to see him. Look how close they all. That one dude almost got him right in the beginning. You'll see.
Oh shit!
He was
That
really
would've
gonna
got
get
him
it beat up. He was
good.
gonna get beat up a little bit.
Yo, she's recording, dog.
Look, you got security. There's one security guard.
Couple cops, but they ain't even really gonna do anything.
No, they're like, hey, bro.
You got hella haters, dog. You got hella haters, bro. You good on this side, though.
Yo, Floyd, stay good.
I mean, come on, you don't gotta fucking gang up on him, like, right? Like that's
agreed. Tell me about it. You know,
that's kind of a bad look on Mayweather's part.
he's just bored. You know.
You good on this side, dog. You good on this side.
But maybe this is WWE stuff.
Right.
It did seem a little legit.
That swing.
I just felt like that.
That swing was like this far away and a lot.
Yeah. From the angle, it was like he could have laid down.
And
he
a
would've
big
been-
old mitt.
Yeah, it was a big boy for sure. Like they're calling in their troops.
Jeez. That's funny. Whoa.
So this was like footage of Jake Paul running from. It's not really.
Oh,
him,
got
but-
it.
Jumps like onto the roof.
What is that from?
I don't know. It was just I was in a Twitter thread.
It's only got this is low on the totem pole, but that's funny shit.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
All right, is it time? Let's get weird.
All right, let's get weird.
All right, here we go. I don't even know if we should preface this.
Yeah, let's just start watching something and
yeah. TikTok. All right.
Have you heard of Project Bluebeam?
Why no, I haven't. What is Project Bluebeam?
What is Project Bluebeam?
The well-outlined conspiracy that suggests that the secret government is planning a new age religion. Through technology and organizations like NASA, they will attempt to fake the second coming of Christ to create a one-world government. The theory suggests that the project would involve a virus outbreak, staged alien invasion, an artificial rapture, and a global-scale holographic projection of religious figures like Jesus, Buddha, and Muhammad. Sounds familiar, isn't it? COVID and shot-down UFO balloons all seem very suspicious. So,
Right.
did it start, and what is coming next?
Dang.
Okay, so-
But like, why holographs when they're so good at like robots and like fake looking, like, you know what I mean?
So I think the gist, and you'll see some of it, but the gist is it'll be some real and some fake to
Like
make
a lot
it,
of the intense shit.
It's going to be like real damage.
Oh man, I got to figure out what that Spider-Man movie is because you need to watch it. If you haven't watched it, it's exactly
I feel like I've
what
seen
we're
all of
talking
them,
about.
but yeah, maybe I'm just like,
Yeah, it's okay.
You are looking at the next generation of hologram tech. This is the HoloLens. This device allows someone to touch real objects within their environment. The company soon hopes to have a glove that will allow a tactile function, so when you're touching virtual objects,
that's cool.
It will feel like objects touched in real life. Ready Player One style games may be coming soon.
Yeah, that's like the Ready Player One style. So I just
Okay.
put a few of the hologram texts that are out now so we can get like a feel for how this might overlap when it gets real weird down the list.
What you're seeing here is Project Bluebeam, high-level advanced holographic projection. You could say in 4D,
Crazy,
you can't touch them, but they seem very lifelike, very real.
We don't have that
And this is
here.
in a stadium. Everyone's filming it. You can see it right there. I think China, for the new year, had the dragons go around the big tower. I'll try and find that clip at some point. But for those of you who are not aware, this is the type of technology that they're releasing on the public now. Imagine what the military and the government have. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to do a hoax or some sort of world hoax to scare us into giving up our freedoms and security. And they'll protect us as long as we release our freedoms and our rights. And they'll have more control and more surveillance over us. So we'll have much more of an Orwellian society. Let me know your thoughts.
But it's true. It's like if that's the public version, it's like you feel like your iPhone's good.
Yeah, that's a long ways away from like a laser light show.
So this one's out in the water.
Yeah.
Ever seen this one?
I've seen shit like this though, like on the water where this is like they do this at Disneyland, right?
So I think this has like been around a little bit more. But this is outside, where the other one was inside. So I was like, okay, well.
Yeah, the inside one's what's creepy.
They had some billboards that were so big it looked like this huge gloves just like coming out, like these digital hologram billboards. I don't know if they're in China or where.
It's crazy how the water moves up and shit too.
Yeah.
Is that part of the
I think
hologram?
I think it's light.
Got it. Oh, okay.
But they're using a mist. I'm pretty sure that's right.
It's a mist. At least
So
the ones
they're
that I've
saying
seen.
potentially this is why they're spraying chemtrails, like possibly to be putting certain amounts of shit in the sky.
So like things refract a certain way,
yeah,
right?
for refraction. So
Fuck,
I don't
it
know.
makes sense. You can fuck with light. I mean, think of a rainbow, right?
It's not impossible.
It's not. Fuck, nothing's impossible.
You know.
At this point, I've seen too much in my fucking life to think that anything is impossible. Check this out. Oh shit, which one was it? Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah, I know. I've seen.
But this is fucking like
Far From
exactly what they would do. Let's see if they can show me a trailer.
The Spider-Man Far From Home trailer is about to play, but if you haven't seen Avengers Endgame yet, stop watching because there's some serious spoilers about to come up.
Okay,
But
guys.
if you have seen Avengers
You heard
Endgame,
him.
enjoy the trailer.
So this is like this is like revelation of the method right here, I feel like, right? Like all this shit they just kind of show us in a certain way.
Yep.
I just really miss him.
That's what Hollywood's for.
Yeah, I miss him too.
Oh, they're because this is.
I don't think Tony.
Okay.
I want to go back on my.
What do you want, Peter?
I want to go back on my trip.
See, you got to
Go
just
where
watch the
you
movie.
like.
It's not gonna
Kind of
give
obvious.
it away.
Sometimes people die.
I just always feel like I'm putting my friends in danger. The world needs the next Iron Man.
You going to step up or not?
All right, well, that was anticlimactic, but if you watch it,
I'll
see,
rewatch it.
You'll see what I'm saying. And then there's a second one now too, No Way Home. So like
It's like Jet. He was never really old enough to like any of them. So I'm like, well, at one point soon he'll want to watch like all the
Totally.
Avengers and different shit.
and it's totally fun to watch it like from in chronological order, like
Right.
when things happened and as
Exactly.
they happened and all that shit.
Yeah.
I think there was like one more.
There's two different types of hologram that we're going to be making. Quiet, please, everybody. We're going to go for take now. Here we go, and action.
All right, this says, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Vladimir Zelensky hologram. We live in a scripted reality where nothing is to be trusted and everything is to be questioned. That's a hologram.
So they're filming him and they're going to project him.
Oh. So he doesn't have to actually be somewhere.
Or he can be anywhere.
We
Yeah,
need to
exactly.
make it feel like he's more in the room.
He's like, to make it feel like he's really here.
The president was supported by a high host of profile individuals.
I don't think that I ever seen this technology before.
Who also recorded holograms in solidarity from the UK and US.
My
What the
question
fuck?
to you.
Why?
Go for it.
That's probably all those shot commercials and shit, you know, like
Yeah.
the people at that type of. And they were showing, there's like a little box where it looks like they were showing kids pretty much playing together. Like that fucking show Utopia on Amazon Prime, I think it is.
Yeah.
Or it's one of them, but it's pretty good.
Man.
It's like a digital world after you die that you go to and you get upload. Oh, it's called Upload.
Oh, that's a good show.
It's a
That's
good
a
show.
hella good show.
It's weird.
It is weird. It's weird.
It's like Black Mirror, just not quite as black. But you haven't seen Black Mirror yet.
I haven't. No, I haven't. I'll write
Can
that
you guys
down.
believe that Kenny's never seen Black Mirror? Jesus. Like he hasn't seen Black Mirror.
I know. How can I call myself a conspiracy theorist and
Right.
not have seen Black Mirror? Everybody tells
well,
me.
maybe you
haven't seen it.
Won't manifest in your reality.
Yeah. Right. All right. So now we got some Stephen Greer videos. So these are
All
gonna
right, so
get,
some of these, yeah, we may just have to watch a little bit of it and kind of to get the gist, but
Okay.
it's very interesting. I can't record part of a video and then
The
save
early
that as a
Lockheed
link.
Okay. This one's only a minute.
Okay.
This is him, right?
Yeah, this is him, and I'll just say that there's a lot of short clips, but if you're like, oh, this was full of shit. Well, there's long clips that will validate him. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
once you know he's legit, if you take it for that he is legit,
Right.
take me at my word for now.
So take this.
It won't
right.
sound so wild, but
Right.
So
we're
you
about
can
to
check his
step-
credentials. You can check his paperwork. You
He's
know
got
what I'm saying?
papers. We're about to step outside the normal realm of things, is what you're saying, and just have an open mind,
Right.
Because this guy isn't some normal hooky who,
Right.
He knows his shit.
Yes.
The early Lockheed Skunk Works.
This says, what were the first man-made UFOs called?
The early Lockheed Skunk Works man-made UFOs were called flux liners.
Flux liners.
Yep. Because they were pulling energy from this quantum vacuum flux field. Very advanced physics. I mean, we understand it very well. I don't want to put your audience to sleep going into the arcana of the physics of it. But the point I'm making is that was mastered decades ago.
This guy's in shape.
This technology's been around for decades.
Well, about 100 years that there has been empirical evidence of this energy field Nikola Tesla called it the infinite energy field. There were
That's why
others
they
who
killed
discovered it all the way back to the late 1800s. Now, they didn't have the physics down of what was happening, but in terms of just observing the phenomenon empirically, here you set up a high voltage system, suddenly more energy is coming out than you're putting in.
The fuck?
So that's just a little
Bullshit.
tip of the toe.
Bullshit. Give me more.
Fuck this guy. Yeah.
Give me more.
Yeah. All right. So this is a
That
3-part
shows that
TikTok
when-
that someone put into one. So that's why it's a little long.
All right.
You know.
If it keeps me entertained, then we might watch the
He's
whole
before
thing.
Congress. I think
Okay.
you just, yeah.
All right. Dr. Stephen Greer testifies under oath to Congress about the free energy, anti-gravity, and extraterrestrial cover-up.
And
Why
look
isn't he
how-
dead yet?
Look how, I know, right? Look how younger he is in this video. So obviously this
is like 90s.
It's like 20, at least 20 years. Yeah. It does look like the 90s. It could have been 2000.
Look at their hair. Look at the lady's hair. That's at least the 90s. And then you got this guy in the background.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're talking about this stuff since then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When Nikola Tesla died, that this information that he had, which allowed for a car to run out of the ambient energy, was in documents confiscated by the FBI. And I have a Department of Defense document demanding that the FBI turn these over to the DOD. The FBI refused. At any rate, science continues because the laws of the universe.
So he's part of the DOD, right? In this point in time, right? Is that because he's speaking in part from the DOD? It sounds like they wrote these letters.
Maybe. I don't know if he's.
Are in fact.
Sorry.
He works, I know, with like high level officials to try to like. So I don't know if it's, he's working
with. Okay.
With, for.
Got it.
Especially back then.
Universal.
He was a
And
doctor.
they can be discovered here
first,
or around Alpha Centauri or any place else in the cosmos. By 1928 and 29,
I know.
Universal, and they can be discovered here or around Alpha Centauri. Over to the DOD. The FBI refused. At any rate, science continues because the laws of the universe are in fact universal, and they can be discovered here or around Alpha Centauri or any place else in the cosmos. By 1928 and 29, T. Townsend Brown, as well as the Koloski-Frost experiment in physics in Germany, had determined that VHV, very high voltage systems done in a certain resonant field, could result in so-called electromagnetic-gravitic effect, the lifter effect that has been described, which you see in UFOs. They also can create what's called a space-time bubble around an object so that you can correct for 1G. This is how these objects are traveling at multiples of what any aerodynamic physics would describe, and can make right-hand turns without killing the occupants. Around this same time, there was, in the 1940s and the late 1930s, a number of UFO sightings. This included the so-called Foo Fighters. Yes, it's a famous rock group. However, the Foo Fighters took their name from the reports of these objects seen in the theater of World War II that were flying around our aircraft. We thought it was a secret weapon of the Nazis. The Nazis thought it was a secret weapon of ours. There is Jimmy Doolittle, the famous general. His nephew is a dear friend of mine, and he has testified that General Doolittle was sent by FDR over to the European theater in World War II, investigated the Foo Fighters, and came back and told Roosevelt, and I quote, "They are interplanetary vehicles." So by then, there began a classified program, and which was augmented further by events, as mentioned, in 1941, and then, of course, the famous Roswell event. Those events led to, as Philip Corso describes, a reverse engineering program. As you all know from the famous Wilbur Smith document of 1951 from Canada, it talks about that flying saucers exist, but there's a high-level team headed up by Dr. Vannevar Bush that is studying the, quote, modus operandi of these vehicles. These were the most brilliant scientists, Edward Teller, Oppenheimer, and others, Hermann Oberth, amongst others, who were in this team studying how extraterrestrial vehicles move. In October of 1954, a key date I want the committee to remember, we have actionable intelligence from someone who has worked in the National Security Agency and it's been in the vault. All of this went deep black because they figured out at that point gravity control. So since 1954, October of that year, we have not needed rockets, jets, internal combustion engines, and surface roadways between cities. I say this with authority that this is the case. Eventually, these breakthroughs in human discovery were complemented by the study of the extraterrestrial material that were retrieved from these events. And contrary to most people's thoughts, the Roswell event was actually a downing of an extraterrestrial vehicle by an electromagnetic system that was hidden in a radar dome that was switched on. And this is in an FBI document that I can provide for the committee and is on the flash drive given to the Congress.
This like Men in Black or something.
The result ultimately was that there were trans-dimensional physics that began to be studied that deal with the nexus between electromagnetism, energy generation, anti-gravity, and consciousness. And we have discovered that there is a nexus and that, in fact, there are electromagnetic systems that have been developed that can interface directly with what we call coherent thought, the same way that you can interface with a system with lasers, which is coherent.
What is Elon Musk's thing that he's working on called?
Neuralink.
Neuralink, okay.
Yep.
Light, where you sync up all the wavelengths. Ultimately, these breakthroughs were paralleled with amazing developments in the biological sciences and the experimentation with cloning. And this began many years earlier than was reported from Dolly the sheep in Scotland. This goes a little beyond, I think, what this committee wants to look into.
Cloning.
However, you need to understand that the technologies that we have, and we were discussing, are not theoretical. We have actionable intelligence that any committee in Congress or executive action can find regarding current operations. And I just want to go through a list of them very quickly of these facilities and corporations for which we have witnesses who can be subpoenaed by the committees of the Congress. This was developed at the request of Congressman Christopher Cox of Orange County, with whom I met, and was later further developed for the briefing that we put together for President Obama. These facilities are the Edwards Air Force Base and subsections where at the dry lake bed where the Lockheed Skunk Works operations, Haystack Butte, China Lakes, George Air Force Base, and the closed Norton Air Force Base, where an anti-gravity device, so-called alien reproduction vehicle, for which we have the schematics, was seen by Frank Carlucci and others on our witness team. Tabletop Mountain and Blackjack Control. The aerospace facilities there are the Northrop Anthill Facility, Tejon Ranch, the McDonnell Douglas Llano Plant, Lockheed Martin Hellendale Plant, and the Phillips Lab. At the Nellis Air Force Facility, so-called Area 51, no one calls it that. There's S4 and S12, Pahoot Mesa, Groom Lake, and a number of sub-facilities.
This guy's taking notes.
The most important facility is in Utah, near Provo, the Dugway Proving Grounds, all of which is underground, and the airspace above it is classified. There are no roads into this facility. The New Mexico facilities include Los Alamos National Labs with underground connectors to the so-called Dulce area where the biological work is being done, and Kirtland Air Force Base. And the complex there includes Sandia National Laboratories, Phillips Labs, Manzano Mountain Weapons Storage Facility, Coyote Canyon, and the White Sands Complex.
UFO experiences
in Arizona,
out there. I have
near Fort Huachuca, which is Army Intelligence
there.
Headquarters, there is a UGB underground base where one of our witnesses, who will testify, worked on 9 separate extraterrestrial vehicles that had been down through advanced electromagnetic pulse weapons, and there are several different species of extraterrestrial biologicals stored at that facility. The other facilities, and this goes on, include a special compartmented area of Cheyenne Mountain, where we have witnesses in our team who can be subpoenaed, where we have tracked extraterrestrial vehicles in our solar system that were measuring 26 miles in diameter. There are also facilities in Australia, a key one being Pine Gap, the so-called Alice Springs facility, which is mostly a U.S. Air Force facility, even though it is in Australia. I recently talked to the Deputy Prime Minister of Australia about this. Also, the Redstone Arsenal and the Marshall Space Flight Center. We have a scientist at the Redstone Arsenal who works under contract for IT&T, who have developed these transdimensional systems. He was under contract with my project to bring these energy devices out, and he was then threatened by a former CIA director and what I call the goon squad that went down there 3 years ago in March. This is just part of the information we have, and this information is on the flash drive given, then that you're all welcome to review. Thank you.
God dang.
Okay.
So I know that's a lot to absorb.
My mind is blown.
But
I'm glad we saved this for the end.
This dude's had a bunch of different documentaries he's put out. So you can go watch his stuff if you know.
So where does he talk about Project Bluebeam at all?
Yeah, he because he's, as you can see, very like he's explaining everything. He's so used to probably people giving
What
him
on earth
shit
has been-
that he's like has to come with the receipts as he says everything. Like these people who can be subpoenaed at any time. You know, like he's just like that because when you're talking about this type of shit, if you see, you know. People don't believe. People have a hard time believing that's the case.
Yeah,
and there's way more obviously to it in sense. And like I think he has like 4 or 5 docs. Like, but he's the one that's out there saying that when you have real ET experiences, that it's not like malevolent, like they're not bad.
Right.
And he's like, if you have a bad one, it's gonna be from
us.
Something that we do.
That makes so much sense. Like they're not out there to hurt us.
And he has one that's like CT5. It's like them getting shit to light up in the sky, move around, and they see things that are. He said right turn, but he meant right angle.
Got it.
But it's pretty compelling.
Yeah.
Even though it's out there. And he has one called
Since
Disclosure.
The 50s, right? Like that's what he's saying. We've been able to produce hover cars since the 50s. That's why they said that's what the future is going to look like.
And I've said that like to you on the podcast before, like, oh, you know, these texts, because I've seen some of this shit before. So that's why I was always like, I want to get this, like, you know, people's take. Obviously, it's out there. He's very popular. He's just never going to be on like a mainstream show.
Shit. All
outside
right.
of C-SPAN, apparently.
So I guess we're going to have to tell you guys to do your research on that. I'm going to check it out on my own and kind of just dive down that rabbit hole, see like what else, like tidbits to share and stuff like that. See if there's any current shit.
It's interesting for sure.
I want to hear some current shit on Project Bluebeam because that's coming next. That's coming probably soon too. I think Glenn Beck just did an episode on it. I saw.
Yeah. A lot of people are kind of talking about the UFO hoax is what we know it as now, because all the projects are like supposedly ended at a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why there's records of them, but none of them are current.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. So what's happening right now? Well, we don't need to look into it anymore because we know like there's aliens. We got deals with them.
Right.
We decided we're not going to fucking shoot them down anymore.
Yeah, and I'm like, they say we have sensors. So he talks in another video of how we have sensors in space, and he's like, I can't really reveal the tech, but you know, they're there. So we have we know every like, at least around us where anything moves, and they're like things come in from behind.
Yeah,
you know, and I don't know. It's all very like he calls like deep black, where it's like you have like black ops, and you have like deep black, which is like separated from any elected official, president. No one's going to be able to get the info on it.
Yeah. Well, I think it all kind of boils into they don't want us to know like what really is happening outside our atmosphere. You know, like the flat Earth thing, or the Earth not being what it's supposed to be, or whatever it is. You know, or the universe, the way rockets fly now compared to the way they used to fly. Like, they don't want us to know
something's. I don't know. Something's different.
Something's fishy, right?
You
so,
know?
and it's not like. That's not a Mandela thing. Like they used to tell us rockets used to just go straight up in the air. That's how they used to launch rockets when we were kids. All NASA rockets went straight up. Now all of a sudden all rockets go up and then that way.
Yeah. It's so weird.
It's so weird.
Especially now that we have way more sensitive measurements as people.
Right.
Like we're able to really double check certain things easier.
Well, yeah, and it's just weird.
But it's hard unless you own a satellite or you've actually been up there. It's
Right.
like, I'm just
Yeah.
ready to take a balloon ride from hell
Yep.
and find out for myself.
Yeah, well, and like, is the Earth moving or is everything else moving around us?
Right.
I think that's kind of where my next thing is.
Well, and I think when you get into that, what is that, like
astrology
or astrophysics or
astrophysics, yeah,
I
astronomy.
I think we can't tell. It's like the same from both perspectives, but it's assumed that because I listen to some of these, I used to get off on like listening to that shit that I'd have to go look up like half of it because I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
But it just was like, oh, big words and space talk.
So it's like a fish in water doesn't know it's in water.
Right.
So we don't know regardless if we're spinning or not.
No. And if we saw, they're saying if it was an interdimensional being that we saw, that it would be like an apparition.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be physical in the same sense that we consider physical, even though everything is vibrating all around us.
Well, so those are just spirits or aliens, or that's maybe what we progress up to, or angels.
You know, I don't know. I think there's different words for
right, because we
people
don't know.
that have seen things that are unexplainable.
Yeah. So at home, we're getting down the spiritual journey really deep again, which is nice. Like, and we're both like unified in it. So that's something we should talk about more on the podcast. I'll have some topics maybe to talk about. Yeah. Make people go be like, what the fuck? Like, talk about some really weird shit.
Well, you know we like weird.
Yep. Did my shit die? Come back. Oh my gosh.
Oh God. What kind of equipment are you working with in here?
Like all expensive stuff.
Oh, this is the best.
Always.
I can tell it's a nice one.
Because it's glowing.
Yeah. It keeps changing colors.
There we go. All right. We got one more. We're going to lighten the mood. Actually, that last one was pretty light. That didn't bring me down as much as I thought it was going to.
No, he's actually got this positive spin because he's like the negative and he has the documentary about it, but the negatives coming from these certain other guys that you always see on TV talking about it. They're part of the crew that Sarah would always be like, they're invading our airspace and this and that and the other, and they're like interdimensional beings, like it's different, like it's different, he's saying. So he's like, if you see some physical shit, like that's fucking from here.
Yeah, I want to see.
Don't let him trick you.
How's your tickle?
I'll find
out. All right, so we got one more thing to lighten the mood a little bit, but before we do, 75 hard checkup.
I failed miserably. How's yours going?
That's all I wanted to do was talk about how good my one was going.
How's it been? Has there been any hard points or anything like that?
It's been mostly okay. Recently, it's got. I was telling you off air, like just recently has been tough. Like the last week or so, I've hit like week 5 tomorrow, so I'm like, okay, last leg of the race at this point. Like I feel like week 5 is that. I guess it's 2 middle weeks, so I'm not quite there yet. Week 5 and but that's probably what it is. Week 5 you struggle,
right?
Then you get through it. Week 6 is like, all right, last leg of the race, and then I'm hoping the last 4 weeks I can fucking rock it. But yeah, this last week I'm like, I'm sick of drinking so much fucking water all the time, but like it feels good, you know. Like I always notice it feels great.
Well, it's probably just annoying. I mean, I don't know. What is that, like 8 bottles? It's 8 bottles of water, right?
It's 8 of
16,
these. Yeah, it's 8 16 bottles of water. And I haven't been drinking bottled water. This is actually the first time I've drank bottled water in months because the minerals in it block up your pituitary glands and things like that, right? So
yeah, so we actually have a Brita filter in our fridge now too.
Yeah.
And we're not really, I mean, we're trying to not drink bottled water, basically.
Yeah, well, I have a really cool fucking water system for my fish tank, so I keep saying I'm going to tap into that and fucking put that into our fridge, but I just haven't teed it off yet. Because fucking we could have zero water, like absolute zero water, and really like start flushing out all those minerals that aren't supposed to be in our body. So and then the being on the schedule, the working out, like being disciplined enough to make sure you work out all the time is rough.
Right.
You know, like sometimes you just, you know, like we went to Magic Mountain yesterday And like, I kind of considered that my outdoor workout, but I didn't feel like that was my indoor workout, you know? So it's like,
yeah,
you got to still fucking figure it out, you know? Like when it's raining,
right?
Jesus,
especially
Christ.
I know it doesn't normally. We don't normally have a good weather excuse around here.
Yeah. Well, we tried to pick the worst part of the year.
That's true.
So we weren't going into the, you know, spring and summertime.
Yeah.
So
and then now you may not even want to drink then.
I probably, right? I mean, you know, I might partake here and there, you know, but I probably won't. Like I've been so, and that's where, okay, so talk about the benefits. Like I feel like the not drinking has probably been the best thing for me. You know, shout out to my wife because she quit drinking completely like almost 9 months ago in a day or two. And
oh shit,
like I didn't, you know, like I was like, oh well, you know, like I can just drink a beer on Fridays or whatever. But like as I went through this program, not drinking at all, I realized how I was programmed to drink that beer on Fridays, and it was controlling me. I wasn't like, oh, this is a social interaction, everybody's hanging out, where, you know, like having, you know, like a community communion, you know, in moderation,
right?
You know, so I think I really love the clear-headedness and being able to focus. Reading, I love reading, so that's like a new passion I got to.
That's good.
Reignite.
I used to read once upon a time and I liked it.
Yeah, I remember you used to read when you were a kid.
When I was in 3rd grade.
Oh well, I read heavily up until I graduated.
Now I feel like listening to podcasts is kind of like reading because you're. Well, certain ones.
But it's not, you know.
You're right. And I guess there's a different type of connection, like probably when you actually read words.
So I'm going to resend you the fucking episode that I just listened to, this because he has a couple 75 Hard podcasts, but like he did one last year, or 2022, last year, that was like, and it revamped me again. So I was feeling shitty. And I was like, fuck, I just want some like motivation because I'm tired of motivating myself all the time. So I went back. I was like, okay, when you feel like this, or, you know, like, you know how it is in sports, when you're fucking up, sometimes you need to go back to the fundamentals. When you're not like playing the same or playing usual.
Yeah, because you're in your head.
Go back to the basics. So I listened to his podcast, and I fucking listened to it like again. And I was like, okay, I figured out like it reinstilled in me why I'm doing this. You know, it's not for the fucking diet because I already hit my goal weight months ago. It's not for, you know, like I know I've learned the benefits of the water. I've learned the benefits now of not drinking, but now it's like the mental toughness. You know, if I want to reach like the higher levels, it's, you know, I need to be a higher level person. So that's what I keep telling myself is, look, you're trying to accomplish this and finish it. And at the end of it, I'll be a different person than I was when I started it. And so,
yep, 100%.
And shout out to the homies that listen to the podcast.
Are they still on?
And they're still on it.
Damn. I'm a pussy.
I think, they talk so much shit about. No, I'm just kidding. They're like, get him back on, get him back on.
I'll get it back on.
Yeah.
I've been getting some workouts. I'm really sore right now. My neck is killing me.
Good.
I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, shout out to Andrew and Josh. Andrew listened to the podcast, asked hella questions about the 75 Hard and about like my current lifestyle. And I don't even have to talk about the diet because I already do the intermittent fasting, right? Like that was the easiest fucking thing.
Yeah.
And he heard me talking about that and like the lifestyle it takes, and he's like on it. And I think they're going to be on their 4th week this week. So
nice.
They're like a week behind me. And you're going to be on day 2.
Yeah. Tomorrow. Or, yeah.
We'll see.
I didn't drink today.
We'll see. All you got to do is...
do I have alcohol?
One more. That's what I did make sure I drank all the booze.
Oh, yeah.
I have like a sliver of tequila that's been sitting in the fucking cabinet.
It's like when you quit pills and there's like a half of one of whatever you used to take, you know, and then one day it's gone. Like a cigarette, like that last cigarette in the pack, like when someone quits. You ever seen that? When they keep one cigarette?
No, I never.
Just in case.
I threw a whole pack away when I quit cigarettes.
I used to break my mom's packs. Like at a certain age, you know, where you got like you realize like, oh, you know, like you're like, I'll never poison my body with anything.
Yeah. At a certain age,
and you're able to learn something, you know. So it's probably right around the internet
before the indoctrination of junior high and high school.
Yeah, before you realize like cheese is worse for you than fucking cigarettes or hot dogs.
Some cheese, processed cheese.
Yeah, processed. Well, that's implied.
No, it's not. Some cheese is made naturally.
I just mean when you're talking about cheese being worse than cigarettes, it's implied.
Okay. You're right.
That's all.
Sorry. Don't yell at me.
Contrarian.
I'm fragile.
Jeez. We made it all the way.
Oh shit.
I'm pretty high though too.
Yeah, super high.
I'm like gonna eat so much after this.
Fuck, dude. You're telling me. So what? How far did you make it when we started?
Like fucking 3 days.
Well, that's not bad. You made
know?
it a couple of days.
It was hard. It was really hard.
What was your biggest struggle?
At the end of the day, when I'm like starting to cook and I'm listening to music, and that's when I'm like, oh man, like I'm like tasting the beer in my mouth, you know? I'm just like,
okay.
And so I don't know. It's tough. And it's funny because it doesn't even have to be like, it used to be like if I'm drinking, I have to drink 20, like to the max. A lot of times it's just a little.
Yeah.
And so, obviously I know that part of the program is no compromising.
Right.
And so I already know when I'm there in my mind, I'm like, it's like when an addict's going to break, you're already like, before you get to the drug dealer's house,
that's just
you've
the
already,
excuse to do it.
I know, that's what I mean. I'm like, it's like there's no stopping this. Even if I called Kenny right now, I'd be like drinking the beer on the phone, like, hey, yeah, sorry, it's in my mouth. Like,
what am I supposed to do? Well, I get,
because you said, hey, if you get weak, and then I remember I even thought about it. I was like, I'm good, and then end of the night, and I was like, oh no, I want a beer. And I don't give a fuck right now.
Right.
I feel like a fucking teenager.
Right. Well, that's what I think what it is you need to figure out what your why is, and that's what I had to refigure out is what was my like reasoning for doing this to begin with. Because if you don't have a reason.
And it was, so I've known about it. And also I kind of started a little bit on the fly, let's say, with you
totally.
on the podcast. It was kind of like how I delivered all this UFO info to you. So it was like, I didn't
You're
have
like, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. I'm like, I guess, I needed to do like a bag of drugs on the way to rehab before I was going to ever go, even though intervention's like now, but I'm like, no, like it
was on the fly for me too. I wasn't really expecting to. I just drank all the alcohol that day.
Yeah,
and
but
we
you
talked
were
about it.
yeah, that's true. But
I was gearing up for it.
I also I was thinking too, I need to just drink so much that I feel like, when you wake up, you're like, I never want to drink again. I haven't felt like that since I started drinking again because I just don't have those opportunities to be at the bar. It's 2 a.m. You're already hammered. And you're like, fuck, I got to order 4 drinks now because I just made last call or 1:30 or whatever. And then you slam all that. And then you're like, oh no.
Right.
When you get home and then you smoke 10 blunts because you were at the bar and you couldn't smoke in the bar all night. You're like, oh, I haven't had weed all night, even though you have your pen nowadays.
I like how I always say you, like I'm relating to this 100%.
Oh, just there's like a mirror, But trust me, many people are.
Yeah,
many people
I'm sure they are.
I know at least a few hundred every Friday and Saturday for a while.
Yeah. Well, when we get that many viewers or listeners.
Yeah. You guys will know who you are.
You know who you are. The percentage of
trust me,
you know
every
who you
person
are.
who goes into any bar at the end of the night when last call gets called, the psychology.
I've done this before plenty of times, trust me.
But yeah, to drink to the point of like, fuck.
One of the last times, I don't think it was the last time we drank on the cast, but the last cigar time you had cigar, I was so sick from the smoke and then like a little hungover, so it made it worse. And I was like,
it's like being at a bar
like this
where people smoke cigarettes all night.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or like when you go to the casino.
In the old days. Yeah, the casino.
Yeah.
Even though they're trying to pump it out.
They try.
But goddamn, everyone there's
because they blow it in your face.
That's
too.
when I would start. That's one of the first times I started smoking cigars. Is because it's almost like if you can't.
It's like
beat
a defense
them, join
mechanism.
Them. Yeah, you're like, well, fuck. This
I
is
can
gonna
at least
override.
Blow my own barrier. Yeah.
Yeah, it's partly true. But yeah, so now I can't smoke cigars because Kenny's lungs can't handle it.
Yep. You could drink. I don't even care. It doesn't even.
Well, that's not. Then you're gonna look normal, and I'm gonna look like it's gonna be like some kind of other
just
show.
Put it in a water bottle like I used to. Fuck.
No, it's gonna be noticeable. I'm like,
I will say, so I did prep. I did make sure I drank all the booze, but that last little bit, and it hasn't really taunted me though.
Yeah, when I got home, I was like, I don't know if I'm really ready for this. And then I made it a few days, and I was like,
nope.
And it's almost like once you miss one little part, the excuse is like, well, I fucked that up, so
yeah.
Now I'm fucking. It's over, you know.
Well, I think
instead of waking up the next day, you're like, it's over till Monday,
right?
You know what I mean?
And then it's over till shit.
It's compromising.
But then I got
it's
Friday.
The exact rules
right?
That, are built into the program,
right? Yeah, exactly. Well, and then it's fucking better to start over at day 3. Like I couldn't imagine like fucking up here where 50. I'm at now, right?
Yeah.
Jesus H Christ. Like now it's like
I guess trying to make me feel better. You're like, well, there's one good thing.
Well, no. What I was saying
now.
is at day 3 you should have restarted again.
Oh. I thought you were smoothing it over.
I was trying to, but then I realized that no, at day 3 you should have been like, yeah, day 1.
That's
tomorrow.
What I was saying.
All right, well, let's wrap this up here, shall we?
All right. What was the end?
We got something funny.
Yeah, I think it was. Well, we were worried about.
Wait, I wrote it down. Oh, I didn't. I keep getting kicked out. I think someone might be logging onto my iTunes at the house. Kyle Dunnigan. That's right. Yeah.
So this was like 2 days old on YouTube.
Last time on the French Prince.
Oh God, that's 13 minutes. How much of it are we watching?
However much.
All right, we'll see.
Watch the beginning.
We'll start. All right, guys. This is going to be our exit. Depending on how into it we get, we might just fade out from here.
Last time on the French Prince of Belle Biv. That man on TV just said there's a malarkey guy in my house. There's a malarkey here. I must go undercover, boss. Did you have a shot with Miss Pelosi?
There seems to be another rooster in the hen house.
YOLO me homos. The name's Jose Brandon.
I bet he'd really know how to jimmy my chunga.
He's never around when I need him to give me money. Sometimes it sucks.
Must be Hunter.
That's gotta be.
Being the president's son.
Holy shit.
Well, I was born and raised in Scranton, PA. Lifeguard by the pools where I spent my days. Till a dude named Corn Pop, who wasn't that cool, started making trouble at the swimming pool. So I took a chain, wrapped it around my legs. They're hairier than my other legs. Not my black kids would touch it. Come on, man.
This is all AI.
And moved to DC.
This is just face swap.
This
This is like Snapchat shit, basically. Like,
so somebody like scripted this.
This dude Kyle, he's a comedian.
Okay, good. I'm like, this AI did not make this.
No.
Okay.
No. Job to me. I shuffled around and sucked fingertips. Made a big speech, kissed the boy on the lips.
So did your wife.
I wrote the damn bill. I hold the ladies tight and sniff all their hairs. First person American to fall up the stairs. Ran for president, I was a winner. Winner was me. Now I sit at my desk as a president. Not you know the thing. Come on, get your face out of your ears.
Get your face out of your ears.
Well, guess the only thing left to do is have a sad Jack.
A sad Jack.
You're getting pretty crispy, Jizz Towel. This is probably your last tour of duty. Get ready for an honorable discharge.
¿Dónde está la cocina?
What the fuck are you doing?
Es en la biblioteca.
Get out!
Lo siento, mi hermano. Not hermano.
Ay, 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 te quiero mucho más.
Get out, Jose. You're ruining my pity party with your surprisingly good music.
Hey, why don't you bend old Jose's ear? My people are known for listening to loud music outside your apartment all day long.
Oh, I don't know. My dad's a huge dick, and all he cares about is himself, and he does that old man thing where he doesn't know he's farting, but everyone else does?
Well, I doubt that's true. I very highly doubt that's true. As far as your dad being a pinga,
He probably just wants you to make your own way. No problem. I have crack I can sell for money. And then I can use that money to buy whatever I want. Like crack. The only hard part is getting it out of the White House. I get checked on the reg. Lucky for me, now I have you to mule it out.
Wish I could, but I got 55 Bambinos at home. And Poppy promised them he wouldn't move snow no more.
How about helping me out with a totally different and legit business?
Jose Brandon at your cervix.
Not cervix. You can be the taste tester for my new burritos. My gimmick is you don't chew them. You swallow them whole. I call them swallow burritos.
My mouth is watering already.
I've never actually watched the show.
I didn't realize
it was
a show.
It was like going into the show.
Okay, all right,
I think
guys.
it is, you know.
Yeah, all right. We'll have to watch this later
It's got to
too.
be like his whole skit.
All right, guys. I highly recommend this by Kyle Dunnigan, the Fresh Prez of DC.
And Rogan brings him up all the time, so I've seen him on there. So I'm sure a lot of people already know who this fucking guy is.
All right, this is part 2 as well. So I almost said part 2 too. I hate when
Part
that
2
happens.
too.
Part 2 too. Well, shit, man. That was a great episode.
went pretty
Fucking
good.
dry. I might have to make that a habit.
I know.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was good.
Was it as
I'm
good for
stoned.
you as it was for me?
I think so.
I hope it was as good for you guys as it was for me too.
Yeah, it's always a safer ride home. I was like, I'm gonna have to start getting an Uber or not driving.
Fuck, dude. I live 2 minutes away. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy needs to just sleep on the couch here at the lab for a minute.
I'm all, we drank all the whiskey.
Yeah. All proud of it.
Like, I need to get to Del Taco as quick as possible.
Hey, that's off air for a reason.
$20 or 20 of each item.
All right. Well, shit. I think we got some things to lead into next episode too. So that's cool. And we got a schedule. We got a plan. We're going to be back next week with some...
You're all right.
I'm okay.
All right.
I'm not drunk, I swear.
Yeah, it's the cotton
I think
mouth.
it's habit. Oh, that's probably what it is.
You know, take a little sip.
Yeah.
It's like when comedians are on stage. They're always in
They
a
gotta
little
do-
water.
Oh, that was funny, right, guys?
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, we're planning on being back next week. See, I can say it now. We'll probably talk more about this Project Bluebeam. I'm super into that. We'll see. We might have an update on Trump going to trial.
Maybe.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
And then we'll let you know if we're underwater or not, too.
Yeah.
Any parting words for the crowd?
No, I think we're good.
I think we covered
Episode
it.
13.
Coming soon.
On the way.
Yes. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Peace.